Belina mai kako. Welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps it aloha by not just having steez, but being steezy. I'm your host, Kamaka, and if I'm being honest, I don't even know what that means, but our guest can explain that to me. But before we introduce him, you already know what time it is. It's time for another Hawai'i Theater giveaway. Every other week, we give away 2 tickets to the Hawai'i Theater, and all you have to do is listen to this episode today when it comes out on Thursday, and head over to our Instagram and answer trivia for our live stream on Friday for your chance to win 2 tickets to any Hawai'i Theater show. They got tons of great shows coming up, even a live podcast in March, so make sure you go check that out. Congrats to our last winner, Kuakaloa_Robinson, for winning 2 tickets. All right, let's introduce our guest. Our guest today is an MC and on-air radio personality from the island of Oahu. This radio veteran has been hosting live events for over 2 decades, from concerts with over 1,000 of people in the audience or just a room of 20 kupuna. He is currently the host of a morning radio show called The Hi Guys on High 93 and is the reigning #1 night show host on 102.7 The Bomb for over 15 years. With accolades too long to even list, we will finish up with this introduction telling you that we got another member of the Angry Locals in the studio today. Lastly, he is the co-host of the Aloha Hour podcast, which I was just on, and now I'm so stoked to welcome him into our studio today to talk stories on our podcast. His name is the one and only Krystilez. Aloha, Krystilez. Welcome to the Keep It Aloha podcast. How you doing? I almost wanted to just sick. Chris.
Yeah, we can rock with Chris. Aloha, no, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. Long time no see.
Yeah, I know, right? A whole, 72 hours?
Yeah. And of course, I had to, bust these out.
Yes.
The Neuromids, because when I was on your podcast, you had these out. I haven't used them for a little bit, but today I was dragging. I just had to go from one thing to another. Came from my little compression thing, my contour thing, and then I called my girlfriend, hey, can you come run down and hand me this in the lobby?
Yeah.
So she brought me these. You already took yours?
I already took one. I actually just made an order for 4 more packs because, I don't know if it's a marketing ploy or not that they do, but if it is, it's brilliant. Like you'll make an order, you go to the website, they'll be sold out. But randomly you can, click on to see if they have more in stock. And just miraculously, they have more in stock. So I'm just like, you know what? If it's real or not, and if it is fake, that's a brilliant marketing ploy. Because I was like, 4. Give me 4 before,
No, I
can't get it anymore.
Amazon is tricky like that. Do you get it from Amazon or you get it from the website or something?
I go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
So Amazon, when I last checked, they didn't have. That's why I went to the website. Website didn't have. I went to Amazon. They had.
Oh, okay.
So again,
yeah, because I hear Black Friday or certain deals, they bump up the price a couple days before, and then they lower it to a normal price, which you think is a deal because it's 50% off, but it's only basically the same price or a little bit lower as it was a couple days ago, something like that.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
It works,
I heard they do that. It works exactly because people are like, "Wow, I'm saving $30, but you're still spending $300, but I'm saving $30."
Right. But I just been handing these out like a madman, every single person. I just I'm not even affiliate or anything like it.
Yeah.
It's just
not sponsored, but they can sponsor us. Keep It Aloha podcast, Aloha Hour podcast.
Yes, but I just like the feeling, and I feel like it's a positive. When you give it to somebody, it's like here, you need a little focus in your life.
Yeah,
set it up.
Yeah, I. As I was saying on your podcast, I just raw dog life, no drinking, no coffee, no nothing. I'm just a water guy. Now I got some Lion's Coffee cold brew that I'm trying out. It's actually really good. Yeah. I love the taste of coffee. I don't really drink it because I just have enough energy. But I was dragging and I took one of these. The serving size is 2. Yeah, I just took one on my way here and I already feel a lot better.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm even talking quicker on my podcast. Maybe because I have coffee and this.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't usually have this much energy. I don't know how I'm talking so fast.
You got a double whammy right there. And that coffee's delicious. That's a chef's kiss in the morning.
Yeah. I honestly feel like I have a lot of energy coursing through my body right now. I think this was a bad idea, taking both of these.
You're about to hit a Kamehameha right now. Come on.
Classic. Well, I'm super stoked that I get to ask you about your life today. Mala, for coming by our studio. I like to start at the beginning, just getting to know your whole life story. Where are you from? Where you grad? And what was it like growing up?
Well, I'm from Nanakuli. I graduated from Nanakuli, spent my whole early life there till I was about 25. Nanakuli is like almost a Hawaiian's dreamland. Like where I grew up, when I went to elementary, 95% of my school was Kanaka. And it's the highest populated Hawaiian public school in Hawaii because it's located right in the middle of a homestead. So, I mean, I grew up thinking I was Hawaiian till I was like fifth grade. Only then I realized, like, I was see my mom every so often, and she kept implementing like, no, you're not Hawaiian, you're Filipino. And then she actually showed me the proof, right? And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, so it was I loved it there. I mean, like, I didn't have I was raised by grandma. Mom left to go work in Vegas and gave me an option to either stay in Nanakuli or go with her to Vegas. I just made friends, so I'm like, I'm gonna stay in Nanakuli, And at 6 years old, that's not the kind of decision you give a child, but I made the right decision.
Totally.
Yeah. So I grew up a bunch of Kanaks, and to the point where I learned a lot about Hawaiian culture, way more than my own. Because that's all I seen every day. I learned all the songs and all the history and all the language. So I just carried life like I was Hawaiian. You know what I mean? Like, because that was my upbringing. It was a little different out there. It's a little more barren financially. There's not a lot of opportunities for money out there, and money's not like the big thing to get in Nanakuli. It's a lot more of a poorer place, unless you work hard. And I remember one of my biggest memories that I share with everybody is I remember not having slippers in elementary, and I had like a 15-minute walk to school, and I would walk to school barefoot. I'd be in class barefoot. The only kid.
What about the concrete, the hot sun?
You rush them. It gets too hot, jump on the grass.
Wow.
You go back and forth. And that was just like my thing. And at the time we were so broke, like I couldn't have slippers until like the next paycheck.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, but for me, like my favorite thing that I always, I don't live in Nanakuli anymore. I haven't been there and I haven't lived there in 17 years now. But I still like represent hard. And that's because I based my whole, how do you say it? Nanakuli was like my parents. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have mom or dad, like, so.
The streets raised you.
Well, in half of it, right? Like, because the community, they say it takes a village, right? The community was so caring. Like, everybody's mom was my mom, And so I was nurtured by the culture, The only thing I didn't get from the culture was a father figure, and that's when I looked to the streets for. So I took I'd made a lot of mistakes, thinking a lot of bad stuff that makes you tough, were making me tough, and they did make me tough. But I did make a lot of bad decisions because of that. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was beautiful. I miss it every day. Like I would love to move back to the homestead. Unfortunately, we sold the house.
Yeah.
I have no any family ties there.
Now he lives in Kahala.
I wish. Oh, but yeah, it was great. It was interesting being like one of the only Filipinos in a homestead. And,
but nobody questioned it, right? You blended in like everybody else, right?
Yeah, you're just a Filipino guy around here.
But even when you think about like the ethnic Hawaiian people, like growing up, as long as you don't have like white fair skin, they just think you're local. We're not thinking like, is that person Hawaiian? Is that person like some sort of Polynesian? You're just like, oh, that person belongs here. That person looks like he's from here.
Yeah, well, you should have seen, bruh. So I don't know why this happened in the 5th grade, okay? For some odd reason, I don't know what the premise was. The teacher had asked the entire class, who is not Hawaiian, stand up. And at the time, I had just learned that I wasn't Hawaiian. So I was like, oh, I guess I should stand up. Me and the only other best friend I have here, which is a Japanese girl, we both stand up. And from that point on, bro, I got into so much scraps.
Really?
Which was good, a good thing. To be fair, I'm the temperamental one. I started most of them.
Oh, okay.
So I got into so much fights after
Wow.
that until I always, God bless his soul, Paul Nahinu, new kid at school. I got jealous because he was getting attention. And then one day I'm pushing him, like, fight me, bro. He open hands me, rings my bell, start tearing, and I was like, I lost. I lost this fight.
How old were you?
I must have been fifth grade.
Wow.
I think I was fifth grade because I remember he was sixth grade, but I was held back one year.
Uh-huh.
And but for that was a very humbling moment for me. I really appreciated that looking back, you know?
Totally. And then, so when you were growing up, you ended up, like, so you ended up graduating from Nanakuli, or?
Yeah.
Okay. And then during that time, were you into rapping or just, the freestyle rapping? We have the battles we see on YouTube.
Yeah.
Were you into that stuff back then?
Not until like freshman year. I think freshman year was my introduction to rap music. And that's when I fell in love. I heard a few songs. I heard Dre Day, Regulators. I don't know if you remember Regulators. Yeah. And then I got introduced to Bone Thugs and Harmony. And when I first heard Bone Thugs and Harmony, I just was like, I want to do that. Like, that is my calling. I get to express my feelings and I get to be cool.
Yeah.
Because rappers are cool. So I started getting into it. We had this kid that came by who's from Nanakuli, went to IAL, so he's a little more hip to things. He was into lowriders. His name is Duke. But he had a rap group. And I wanted to be in the rap group. So I followed these guys, they welcomed me in. And long story short, we started recording raps on a karaoke machine.
How did you record it on the karaoke machine? Like, you put tapes or cassettes inside?
Yep, cassette tape.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You've probably never seen a cassette tape, have you?
No, I'm 93. I was born 93, so I'm on the tail end of that.
Okay.
So I was still VHS. I would buy the Dragon Ball Z VHS and stack them together so you have the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it makes a picture. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I was CDs and VHS.
So we got fancy. Like, so we basically, like, we would have the instrumental playing, record it live, rapping, one take, right? We would take the cassette tape that has the recording of us rapping, then we would play it again, record on another tape. So that one tape already has our vocals. Then we would add our ad-libs and hype stuff on the second take. And
smart. You guys were ingenuitive.
Oh, well, we loved it. It was our we went double wood, our first release. We sold 20 copies.
What did you call it?
Double wood.
Double wood?
Yeah, we was close to platinum. But we I fell in love with rap ever since. It was just it was good for my soul. I felt it right, Like I could express myself, I could say whatever I wanted, and nobody could say nothing because it's art,
Yeah.
My first rap, I dropped an N-bomb, bro.
Well, different times.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't know either. I'm also like 14 years old, mimicking what I'm listening to, right? So my first 2 bars, I'm just like trying to make it like in this rap biz, and then my friend stops and he's like, "Bro, you're not black. Don't ever do that again." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry." So
wow. So, this is like, I guess, just your first couple years after high school. And did you, when you fell in love with this music, did you think that this was going to be your career, or were you still looking for other career opportunities? Was this more of a hobby at that point?
No, this is what I wanted to do.
Oh, you just knew.
I was gonna chase it. I chased it. I went as far as my heart told me to go. I was like, this is what I want to do. I studied the game. When you graduate high school at the time, you're presented with only like 2 what they claim successful options, right? You could either go to college, which is what they encourage everybody to do. I firmly did not believe in college, and it works for some people. I mean, you went to college, right? It worked for you.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like the idea of, going into debt for education, and whatnot. And it just, at the time, I was smarter than my teachers, I had to believe. So I was like, And the other option was the military.
Yep.
Right? And to me, at the time, I think the signing bonus was like 10 grand or 20 grand. And I was like, $20,000, but I might die? I'm like, I think I'm okay, you know. And we're broke. My house is broke, and we're poor. And I just immediately wanted to make money, so I just went into the workforce. And while all the while, you know, rehoning my craft, trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. By that time, I had already linked up with a record label locally. It was a record label called Landmark Entertainment, and they used to do these. They had a couple big artists on there locally, like Big T's and I forget who it was, but they also produced a TV show on OC16 called My TV Jams.
Oh, okay. Like MTV channel.
Yeah, it was like the local version of or the more hip version of Overdrive Live. Do you remember
Oh, yeah,
Overdrive
yeah.
Live? So this one would do more of like the urban stuff and pop stuff. Anyway, so we already had like a taste of like what the business is like. You know, so we got to like record in real recording studios and etc. And so that definitely was a motivating factor to keep doing it. You know what I mean? We're already on the move, so yeah.
Well, when's the first time you got paid for doing this?
We're still waiting, bro.
Checks in the mail. They said it was coming in 20 years ago. Must have been sent to the wrong address.
No, we got paid in the beginning, but a lot of it's work for hire.
Uh-huh.
You know, like you get paid like this to drop this verse or to write this and etc. So everything's like one time payment. We didn't understand like residuals and all that jazz in the beginning. It definitely it wasn't viable at the time to just wholeheartedly dedicate to it. And even to this day, like hip hop in Hawaii is not a big product to sell. There's not a lot of an audience for it. You know, not a lot of people consume hip hop from Hawaii outside of Hawaii. And that basically is because it doesn't fit the ambiance. You know, you look at Hawaii, you're not thinking of driving beats and struggle, you know, poverty. And then you're also competing with a market that doesn't even involve your race, you know? So we still had a dream though. And we still wanted to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked with Aloha, Mahone, K-Love, and Osna as well about these things. And it's, kind of like what you said. It's a hard market to get into.
Yeah.
And it's not that we don't have hip hop in Hawaii. It's just not as big as other marketplaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because there's a lot of artists here. And there's so much to be said. It's just, how do you sell it, right?
Yeah, and how do you relate to other people outside of Hawaii, you know? Like, you know, we got the Boto Bangas, you know, they rap about, they're like the new gen angry locals. And they're rapping about things, but I mean, it's only relatable to people in Hawaii when you're rhyming things with Boto and Wachu Faka and all that stuff, you know? It's just, it's hard to reach into a new demographic outside of the islands for that kind of stuff.
But we pushed it. We pushed it to the limits. Like, but I never stopped working. That was my thing. Like, I don't, even though I want to do this, I still need to. I was taught from a young age to always work. My family
you
always
had
worked.
to out of necessity. Right?
Yeah, everybody's just do a job, get paid no matter what. But we had a very, very successful run in the early 2000s, around 2005. This is like during the launch of YouTube. YouTube turns 20 this year. And so once we saw these outlets, we wanted to take advantage of it and try and use that to bring our platforms higher. Since there's no radio stations playing hip hop, whatnot, at least there's a space where we can do things. I enjoyed producing videos at the time. So we had a new record label formed out of the old one where called Tiki Entertainment. And this particular record label was, for lack of better terms, almost like your death row of Hawaii. You know, we took all the hardest Hawaii hip hop artists and put them under one roof. And we were able to generate a lot of noise. You know, we did all of our marketing materials, our recordings, videos, everything was in-house inside of this warehouse in Kaneohe. And when I released my second album, we had some unfortunate mishap with our owner. And with that, we just did one full-blown run of my project. This was the most best-selling project from the record label. But they went all out also with the promotion. You know, we had a lifted truck with my face on it. We put
Wow.
up wanted posters all over Hawaii that said wanted for blowing up Hawaii. So technically I was promoting terrorism. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
This was after 9/11
yeah,
also.
it's like, dang. But it worked for us, you know? We were able to like sell out Pipeline, which is like 1,000+ venue. And we made a whole lot of noise. It's just weird now because when I look back at the noise we made, can I say the same noise now? I'm older.
Well, I mean, different times as well. Like, for example, 10,000 views on YouTube back then is like equivalent to like 100,000 views. It's like inflation.
Yeah.
It's like view inflation.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, it was massive though. It was a good time.
Yeah, I remember watching some of the Angry Locals videos, but this is probably a little after. This is like more 2009, 2010, around that area.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. So, how did you end up getting your MC name?
Krystilez. I had at the time there was a big surge in the popularity of a champagne called Krystal. But they would always call it Krystal. Sipping Krystal. And I liked that part of hip hop, the jiggy success part, but I also was an underground head. Like I love the battles, I love the raw grit stuff, and so I wanted to fuse the two. That's why it's spelled so weird, you know, like, and that was the best way, you know, because styles in the underground is like a very popular term. Krystal is a very popular term in the pop world, and so I just put the two together, you know. And my name is Chris, so it's still me.
What do most people call you?
Most people call me Steezy.
Steezy?
And I think that stems from the well, actually, no. It depends on it's a generational thing. Like, you know, a lot of people like my age will call me Krystilez. And then those who know me really well will call me Steezy. Just because it's the same concept from your Snoop Dogg, right? Your Snoop Dizzles and your Yeezys, Weezys.
Oh, Snizzo.
Yeah.
Lil Weezy.
Yeah. So that's where Steezy came from.
Oh, okay. And what does Steezy mean? Is it like swagger? Kind of,
yeah. Like cool. Like, you know. But even Steezy's like almost outdated for this Gen A, you know. But Steezy basically means
steez before. Like you got a lot of steez. That guy has a lot of steez.
Yeah. So that's what Steezy is.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
Cool. But like, I do know what it means, kind of.
You are kind of hip hop, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I loved growing up in high school. I wasn't really into like the Hawaiian stuff, local stuff. I was all into like the Western culture. I mean, Tupac was my favorite rapper. I would like memorize Eminem songs. I listened to like Tribe Called Quest and all these old school like Kool and the Gang, and I'd print out papers and memorize all the verses of Rapper's Delight. You know, like all 20 million verses of that. Like when you're on karaoke, when you do it by yourself, you're just like, like, can somebody tap in, please? Because it just keeps going to the next person.
That's the reason I fell in love with hip hop too. Was you know, based on you talking about more into hip hop and Hawaiian stuff. Back when I was growing up, this is when like Capeno was hot, Willie K. A lot of them never ventured into struggle and never ventured into like a person's like sad side or angry side. Everything's very jolly, love music. And I love that about Hawaiian music. But I also, that's what I always thought was missing at the time. I was like, you know, we're singing the same old love song while I'm over here like plotting so I can get a meal. You know what I mean? Like I'm plotting some bad stuff right now just so we can, I don't know, get a beer the next day. You know, like
and that's different. A lot of the lyrics in the, you know, these rap songs was a lot about struggle, you know. And I think people, I mean, me growing up in Hilo, I didn't have that kind of struggle as like Tupac and everybody, but it was still relatable to like kind of give you that vision of making it, of, you know, just like, or even like the song Changes, you know, it's like very inspirational stuff. So I love the lyricism and just like the messages on some of the songs. I mean, some of it, you know, is just like about fighting and gang, and some is just like very poetic, you know, like ghetto gospel and like stuff like that. So that's the stuff that I really loved it, and I would write poems and stuff like that as well.
So you got bars.
I got some bars.
Like sample.
I used to post it on YouTube. like
Really?
poems and on Tumblr back when Tumblr was big, and
Oh,
I would
no.
write songs for my friend to sing on YouTube. That's how I like first started on like social media, was YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So you post like spoken word? Was that like your thing, or
Pretty much. I wouldn't go to like any live stuff, but I would have yeah, basically spoken word poems.
like what kind of stuff were you into? Like
Well, I mean,
when you were
I basically liked rap. I didn't really like spoken word. I didn't really like the intensity of it. Like go into the moon when you're gloomy and da, 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 da.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I didn't like that stuff. I was more just like I liked rhyming.
So you had rhythm and like at least
Yeah,
like a
exactly. Yeah.
tempo.
So, but I wasn't a rapper, but I liked these like creating rhymes and within the lines and bars and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. So that was fun to me. Like I have like hundreds of notes in my phone just of just uncompleted
Yo, you should
poems
try
and
one.
stuff.
Should try
I
one.
mean, I've posted stuff before, but I don't like rap.
But what's the difference?
It's spoken rap.
Still the same.
It's more like I'm more like Kanye Def Jam poetry than
Yeah.
him dropping albums, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So me like, you know, those old rap videos where he did like was it All Falls
All
Down?
falls
All
down.
Falls
Yeah.
Down, but like that.
Man, I promise.
Yeah.
I'm so self-conscious. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's more me than the actual melody and stuff. Because I would have to learn those things. But
Nice.
yeah, I got some pretty good bars though.
No,
Yeah.
I gotta check it out. You said it's still on YouTube, yeah?
Yeah. One of my favorite ones. I wrote a poem about growing up. It's like about the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why do you have to grow up? It's a shame. Da, da, da. And I would have all these references. And I think one of my favorite lines in that one was like, let's see if I can remember it. Something. Seems like that. Wait, let me look it up. You like this?
Let's
You like
go.
it. You like it. I did it for my talent show. I did this one thing because I with some people, and like for my talent I did I read this poem while catching grapes in my mouth. Why do we have to grow up? Have to. Let me find it. I don't know what it's. Oh, right there. Okay. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but it's right here. Okay. I guess I'll start with this one. Can I get a Capri Sun and some Dunkaroos, a talking dog like Scooby-Doo, a Tamagotchi to bring to school, and an NSYNC CD to listen to? Don't make us eat our vegetables because you know how much we love that. And don't mention pickles if you're not talking about the Rugrats. Don't lie. I know we all wanted those spinning hubcaps. Well, at least just a little. Or a class field trip led by Miss Frizzle. Space Jam was a shizzle to all the small kiddos. Even Stevens would agree that things were better when Malcolm was in the middle.
Let's go. Let's go.
That's probably one of my favorite bars.
KD got bars.
KD, not Kevin Durant. Come on,
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I was pretty confident of a lot of the things that I wrote,
Yeah.
but I just never turned that into rap. But I do want to write books, like poetry books, where I have a book called Pun Intended. That's what I want my first book to be. I talk with passion about this, and I shared one where it's just basically all using puns, but actually intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, so that's something.
I would buy that.
Yeah.
So you naturally make dad jokes like without even trying.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. When I talk about it like this, it kind of makes me excited because I don't really write as much these days.
Yeah.
Because I'm busy doing other stuff and I'm just talking. So
why did you stop?
I think just life life got busy.
Yeah.
I think last time I really wrote was when I was in the Peace Corps, because you have a lot of time. And now when you have distractions, I can watch sports on the TV. I can go on my phone. I can watch videos on YouTube or whatever. So I don't really have time where I'm just like sitting down, reflecting on life and just writing stuff down.
Yeah.
So I would like to get back to that. It's just life moves so fast these days, especially when I have tons of work I always got to do. So the last thing I want to do is like be on my phone or writing down something. I just want to like turn off my brain and watch basketball or football.
That's always the hard thing
Yeah.
too, yeah, when you're a creator, like, and when you do it for a living, finding the drive to create the things you deep down love, right? Like, it's like, oh, I spent so much time creating today. I'm a little like burnt out or emotionally, or not emotionally, but creatively like squeezed out.
Yeah.
And so you want to decompress, like watching shows and
Yeah, exactly. Maybe got to go into like a camping trip or something and write some.
writing camp.
Yeah, writing camp. How do you come up with your stuff?
Well, and it's just life experiences, whatever drives me, or whatever's happening at the moment. Everything's very purposeful, you know. Like there are moments in time I released a lot of stuff that were just exercise. I like to call them exercise, where you drop raps for whatever, just because you have some bars you want to spit out or you want to get off your chest. But at this age, everything has to be very intentful and it has to hit me. So we do have these freestyles we do every morning on the radio, every Friday morning on the radio with the Angry Locals. That's more of like our exercise and just staying sharp.
Oh, that's fun.
Because rap is like, to me, rap is the only sport that you get better as you get older, you know? And you don't, you know, as when you get into your older ages, you actually peak out because your brain works a lot better, more fluid, more, you know, as opposed to when you do physical sports, your body starts, you know, breaking down. And so for us, like we go in there and we just try to stay sharp by having topical bars for the week, etc. But when it comes to making music, it's more, it has to really, really hit me. You know, it has to be like, I need to do this. And you can tell by the feeling, you know, that I need to do
you need
this.
to get this off of your chest. Yeah.
Or we need to make a difference, you know.
Oh,
like,
okay. So like when things come up, for example, like you guys had PSAs on like "Look at me now," and you guys did the stuff about crossing the street or like driving safe or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or when one of my favorite Angry Local song, "The Stinky Girl," about when people were touching the seals and stuff like that.
Yeah, these things we need to shift and make things happen. You know, as MCs, that's our job, is to move crowds, right? Whether it be live in front of 10,000 people or 10 people or a cipher of your friends, or in a digital age when you release a song, you're still moving an audience, you know? And then like a lot of that is intentful. Like that's the whole idea. You know? And yeah, so yeah, Stinky Girl. One of the ones that I really wanted to put out there that we were able to do was during Lahaina. When Lahaina happened, we did a Ring the Alarm one, just to bring awareness to, and also celebrate that and remind people that, okay, we still have each other no matter what. You know, nobody's going to take care of us. They, them, whatever government you believe in or whatnot, are not going to be there for us like we're here for us. And just to always remember that. You know, like, so no, don't just practice it when tragedy strikes, practice it daily. You know?
Yeah, I've written stuff like that where it stems from the Mauna Kea movement or some school shootings or whatever. Where, and where I talk about like, oh, here we only care when something happens, and then it goes away, and then we forget about it. You know, like all these things continuously happen in our lives and in our social media age. It's a lot of virtue signaling, like Black Lives Matter for about 2 weeks, and now everybody's on to the newest celebrity. Kardashian, whatever.
But you know, if you treat it as a kuleana, you have a great talent. You know, that'd be great to just share, because even affecting, I know the numbers may not be as big as when you do these episodes or whatever, but to me, hitting 10 people is still as great as hitting 1,000. You know, like especially on that level in here.
Did you see that one reel on Instagram? I saw it like a couple weeks ago where it gives you perspective. It's like it shows you like 10 people viewed your story or your post or liked your post, and it shows 10 people, and it's like 100 people, then it shows 100 people, and it shows like 500 people, it shows like 1,000 people, and it shows like 5,000 people, 10,000 people, where it's like a whole stadium filled. So it gives you perspective on like, oh, I only got 500 views, and it shows you what 500 people viewing your stuff actually looks like. Like that's still a lot of people.
And then also how you affect them, right? Like what do they take with them? How much you've changed the life so that it's in a better direction. You know, so yeah, I love it. No matter how many people or whatever, it's just back to what you were asking. Like, that's how I make songs. It just
Yeah.
has to be. You feel it when everything aligns.
Okay. Was it always like that, or did it change as you got older?
It changed as I got older. You know, in the younger days, you're chasing the studio.
Mm-hmm.
You're chasing it. You're chasing the moments. You're trying to relive the feeling. You have this focus on blowing up, and I get it. Like,
Like
we all
going
trying to succeed.
viral, being discovered, like that kind.
Well, yeah, and just being famous or trying to get money and just trying to be the top dog. And just different generations have different forms of it. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to be somebody, right? I'm just trying to be somebody. I want to, if I'm not in a studio right now, I got to go find a studio. I don't care what it is. Or, oh, if I hear this song, that song's successful, I need to copy that song. I'll make one like that and we'll hit the studio. I've been through every single phase of all of it, bro. And at the end of the day, if it's not you, then why are you doing it? If it's not, if it doesn't speak to yourself or who you are, then why are you doing it? If it's not something that, like, I look back at a lot of songs I've done, I don't even recognize that person, right? Like, I'm like, bro, this guy. But that's why now I just do things with purpose, with intent. Like,
Yeah.
this makes sense, you know?
It must be so cool for you to have all this experience, and now you host your radio show and you host these other ciphers with local up and coming people, or you host other, people in the music industry on your shows and you talk stories with them, and you have this perspective of, like, I've been through all of that, the come up, the grind.
Yeah.
And now I'm here hosting my own radio. I'm still, you're still doing your music stuff here and there, but like you have both perspectives of like been there, done that, and now I'm here.
Yeah. And it is a kuleana. Like, it is.
You uncle now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, because there was uncles that took care of me, right? There was guys that I looked up to, or for instance, in high school, we had this teacher. His name is Jimbo. When I was in high school, he came on as a teacher's aide, and he only got paid like fucking $9 an hour for part-time, right? But he spent 40, 50 hours with us. So school would be over, we'd go out, shoot some videos. We had a TV show on Olelo, a sketch TV show, which was like the biggest thing in high school at the time. It was called Hawk Attack. It was ridiculous.
That was before Hawk Tua.
Way before Hawk Tua. And but as I got older, I realized, with the amount of time he spent on us, and I look at the whole situation, like, you're not making money. Why were you doing it? And I asked him later on, and he's just like, because I loved you guys. And then so, like, I realized, like, shucks, like, that made a huge difference for me. That right there was the threshold of me going full streets or going into entertainment and realizing, okay, if I nerd out on this, I'll be okay. And I realized, shucks, for one guy caring, you could make a difference. Like, okay, well, then let me just care. Somebody cared for me. Why should I not care for someone else? One new young person that, like, maybe on the brink,
Nice. So do a lot of people come to you for advice?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I'm not the best advice giver.
Well, I mean, I guess through your actions, they can kind of follow your career path.
Yeah.
They can be like, well, this is how they did it,
Yeah,
especially with the angry locals. I mean, you guys been doing that for like so long, and every now and then you guys just drop a new video. I mean, it's been a little bit since your last.
Yeah, we drop another one today, I think. Or
oh,
something.
Really?
Yeah, we're.
Oh, nice.
It just depends. We're also busy, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's got their own thing going on. Los Nizzles does everything.
Everything.
Mox is with natural vibrations, and he also teaches. But it is always a kuleana.
Yeah.
And I think that's like something we should not forget, because when I was coming up, I had OGs that helped me out. But in hip hop, it was such a weird time in the scene in Hawaii, where the guys almost didn't like us. The older guys didn't give us our due. And so we were like, when I was getting into the hip hop scene, and this is why battling became big for us, I wanted respect. Nobody was giving the West Side guy respect. So I'm like, whatever. Then let's battle. battling is where you meet one-on-one with some other MC and you just spit at each other to see who's doper, right? There was another MC, Big Mox at the time, who was a dope MC as well. And like, we had met in this massive tournament. It was 2 days long. Jin was hosting. And they had 32 MCs. And me and him were battling through our sides of the bracket until we realized, like, throughout the tournament, we realized, like, okay, that's the fucking guy I'm going to end up battling, right? And then we got head-to-head. Long story short, I took a L. He beat me. And we kept battling. But the older heads didn't like that we kept battling, and none of them wanted to battle us. And they wouldn't open doors for us. There would be no kind of, like, love shown. Almost like they would look down on what we were doing. And so we didn't like that older generation. It's like, okay, well, screw you guys. Then we're just going to do our own thing and just continue celebrating the culture of hip-hop. And I can't speak for Mox, but for me, I'm like, okay, when the younger guys come up, we're going to open our doors because these fuckers never open up their doors for us. And from there, we just started cultivating all kinds of, like, young MCs. We had these ciphers underneath Halava. Do you know where Ice Palace is? So there's a freeway bridge where we'd meet up like church every Sunday night. And there'd be like a whole bunch of random cars that pull up. One of them would turn on their sounds, bang some instrumentals, and everybody just raps.
Oh, is that where I saw a music video? I'm guessing that's where it was.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people. I think it was the local. Everybody was like this.
Yeah.
That was the place?
Flip the Angry Bird, yeah.
Flip the Angry Bird, yeah.
That was at the Cypher.
Oh, okay.
And
nice.
that Cypher, like, every Sunday we'd have it. Sometimes we'd have 20 people. Sometimes we'd have 100. Just random cars, people drinking, people smoking, and just celebrating the culture, you know, getting to know each other, fighting each other, you know.
I bet.
But at the end of the day, it was just a place for hip-hop to thrive, you know. And that was something that our generation was very proud of, you know, because now the younger cats know, okay, well, you know, it has a trickle-down effect. Like, they helped us. This young homie wants to do something. I better go help them. And the same goes for any kind of family culture, Hawaiian culture, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah, like giving back just because that's what we were taught growing up, you know. Your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, grandpa help you out, parents. You got to take care of younger siblings. Even, I think I mentioned it on your podcast as well, where in Madagascar we had the Zuki Zandri thing where in the Peace Corps you come in, you're the Zandri, you're the little sibling, and then the older siblings, the people that have been there for like a year or 2 years, they're Zukis now, and they gotta go take care of the younger kids.
Yes.
Yeah, so I love that culture.
Such a simple concept, but then, you know, when you have like gatekeepers, that's such a like, shoo that kind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's not for Hawaii. You get that out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into our shishi break, I want to know a little bit about the history of the Angry Locals. Like, how did you guys all come together? What was the inception? How did you guys all meet? You guys are still tight to this day. How do you stay tight like that? You know, it's hard to, you know, have these deep friendships for years, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing business together.
Yeah.
But, you know, somehow you guys are still thriving.
Yeah, because we love it. You know, the Angry Locals was formed on laziness.
So you guys should have been called the Lazy Locals.
Long story short, Osna was, you know, he was a producer at the time. And we all were recording at his spot at different times of our lives. Like, we just pull up to Os's whenever. He's always down to record a rap. So I would pull up, be like, I got an idea. I got a 16. I'll drop a 16 on a beat. All right, I'll come back and finish it. And then leave, right? And then Mox would do the same. Mike 3 would do the same. And there would be a whole bunch of verses on random beats. Some have choruses, some don't. And it's just a bunch of incomplete songs.
That's like my note.
Yes. And then, I don't know whose bright idea it was, probably Os's, to be like, hey, you know what? How's about, like, if you're not on one of these beats, jump on it, write a verse, and we'll make an album together. Right? Like, hey, I need a verse here. Can you do this one? By the end of recording it all, we had like 17, 18 songs. And then we're like, okay, let's drop something. What do we call ourselves? And then I think Mox came up with the name Angry Locals, and the rest is history. It's just like one big cipher of guys rapping and be like, let's do something.
It's like the Wu-Tang Clan, where you guys are all together, but you still do your separate things.
Yes.
But you still come together, and you're
Yes.
still the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes, exactly like that. And that's how we started. We just was having fun doing hip hop. You know, we all had the same direction. Nobody is with us, or a lot of people are against us. So let's just buck it and go forward against the grain. And I think we're able to stay together as friends because we shared so much during the same fight. You know what I mean? The same struggle, the same everything going forward. And we had during those times, you know, and everything that we tried to achieve together, we went through some great times, some shitty times, but we knew, you know, going on the road and everything, that we could trust each other. And from there, it just became a family affair, you know? You know, kids get involved, and then it's just like, there's points where you're like, oh, okay, he needs this. Let me go offer it to him like he's family already, because he is.
Yeah.
And it just became it's deeper than rap thing, you know?
Yeah, it's Ohana.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah. So did you guys ever get to a point where you guys thought about like splitting up?
Nah, I don't even like. I don't think we've ever gotten there, because I think
Awesome.
I think, you know, and I speak for myself, but I feel it from them, that we celebrate each other's successes, regardless if it's with the crew or not.
There's no jealousy, no
Yeah,
ego.
it's just like, fuck yeah, I get it, bro. Like,
love
fuck,
that.
like, because
I
we've
love
all
that
ate
so
shit
much.
together. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And you know, there's always a common conception, right? Like, oh, if you blow up, I blow up, you know, and whatever. But I don't think it even matters at this point. You know, we've all come to a certain level, and it's like, fuck, just take it as far as you can go, bro. Like, because I want to see you do it. Like, no matter what direction it is. You know, seeing O's DJ on the biggest stages, like, shit, yeah. You know, seeing Mox on tour with Natural Vibes, like, yes.
Seeing you host the Hawai'i Fest.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And we're all
Yeah.
like, just, you know, we're all great at what we do, but we also just enjoy seeing each other make it, bro, because we've seen the worst. We've seen each other at our lowest.
Yeah.
You know, and we...
Give me chicken skin. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish everybody was like that.
Yeah.
It's a great example. It's such a great example, especially for the younger kids coming up to see that.
You know, I think you brought it up in the last podcast too, right? Struggle. Like, there's no struggle for anybody.
Yeah,
for this
people
young
need
generation.
to do hard things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it changes you, you know?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I'm not super into the music industry, so I don't know what kids are struggling with these days. I mean, they have so many more resources and people that they can look up to for guidance. So they don't really have to do it as much on their own these days, you know? Like, you guys were maybe searching for anybody to record you, recording yourselves on the karaoke machines. These days, it's like, oh, I just met you, but you want to come to my studio and record?
Yeah.
Like, that's how easy it is these days, right?
Yeah.
So totally see the contrast of, you know, those days and these days. Yeah. I usually have to see shishi about an hour in, but I'm good now because I think I'm drinking the coffee, and I guess that doesn't make me have to shishi as bad. So
Good.
yeah. So I wanna get into the podcasting and radio space before we get into the shishi break, which I'm confused. I don't feel like I have to shishi. This is new to me. I'm looking at the time. We've been going for about 48 minutes. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I got a shishi by now. What's going on? So it has to do with the coffee and the neuromint and all of that. So yeah.
Bro, this is a trip watching you right now. Like, you're just in this.
You see,
I
I'm
see
just
the
like, I'm so
conundrum. Like,
confused.
oh my gosh, like, I need to go, not go.
Yeah, it's like, usually I'm like already like have been holding it for like 15 minutes at this point, but I guess I'm good. Anyways, let's move on. So how did you get into radio?
You know, there's two stories I'll tell. But long story short.
What about short story long?
Short story long.
I got time.
You know, things happen that I'm not aware about. But I do know that my producer for my music, his name is Spooks, just a phenomenal brother. He's my mentor. You know, I always call on him whenever I need something, and he produced my albums. At the time, he was offered a favor return from someone in radio.
What like he'd see, like an IOU?
Well, like a return favor, like, you know, I can't do this, but, you know, I have a job. You want a job?
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I'm not a radio guy, you know, but I know somebody who might be interested, you know, and that somebody would be me, because I was full blown into entertaining. So it wasn't just rap, even though rap was like my core. You know, I had emceed things since I was like 14. I was into like pep rallies and, you know, mimicking my favorite wrestlers to hype up a crowd. And so I was into emceeing anything. And so he had basically had an offer for me to get into the radio. It was like a little back door, right? He's like, do you want to just do it? And I'm like, yes, I'll do it. So I instantly got hired to do overnights, which is like your step into on air. I got to skip all the interning and all that jazz and went straight to getting on payroll. And my overnights took off, you know, and, you know, radio is funny. Like, everything is timing. You know, as you know, I don't know if you've ever paid attention to radio, but you always hear of these shifts. You know, oh, all these people let go from here, or these people got fired. Or,
well, especially over the last couple of years.
yeah, you always see these shifts. Well, it happens a lot. It's been happening throughout as long as I've been in radio. So everything is timing. I just so happened got in at a point of great timing. I was overnights for probably like a couple months, and then they're like, oh, there's a big shift. Some people let go or whatever, and they're like, oh, do you want a night show? And I was like, a night show? What is that? And they're like, you'll be on live from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, do I have to leave? I have to leave my jobs? They're like, oh, you don't have to. I like working, right? Like, so I was at Papa John's at the time as an assistant manager selling pizzas.
Love a good Papa John's pizza.
Yo.
Barbecue pizza.
Straight up, side note, I can make a pepperoni pizza in under a minute.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wait. I mean, like from dough. Like you have to have the dough ready, and then
you have the ball of dough.
Okay.
They had this thing called the Pizza Olympics.
Okay. Like you can make it ready to put in the oven.
Yes, not cook it. I mean, of course, the oven has to cook it. But, but they had this thing called Pizza Olympics where you would like race to have the fastest time. And shout out to Walter. Walter was the best. But I could do mine in under a minute.
So like,
yeah, pick it up, take the ball out, zit. Yo, I am phenomenal. I could do tricks with the dough. You know, like those, you ever watch the Italian movies and they're throwing it and I have throw it behind my back? I used to get loads of tips, bro. Like flexing for people. Anyway, so I was working at Papa John's and they offered me a night show, so I took it. You know, anything to get out of working a real job. And the rest is history. I just started working at nights. I started getting all these nightclub gigs. You know, so it makes perfect sense for the brand, right? A hip hop station with the biggest rapper at the time doing the radio show. And it was natural to me. I've already done a lot of production in high school, working with Jimbo. And from there, it just took off.
Wow. And then what? This is... So the show, the night show... on 102.9, 102.7.
Yeah.
The Bomb. That's like the same show that you're talking about, or
No.
this is different?
This is with 939 at the time. It was it was Clear Channel Communications, which is pre-iHeart.
Okay.
So they're currently iHeart now. Before they were called Clear Channel. And you know, I had to release my second album. I was on fire, bro. I was partying every single night. You know, I was enjoying myself. I was a heathen. And that's when I ended up moving to town. So I finally moved out of Nanakuli to town because...
you're here all the time.
Yeah, traffic sucks. But the other part was, because when you work in radio at the time, nightclubs are hot. They're not so hot now, but could you imagine like a district Saturday, but every day?
That's what
somewhere.
you were doing?
Yes, but it
Wow.
was different venues.
Like on a Tuesday or like a Wednesday?
Dollar Baller Tuesdays. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess I don't go out that much, so I don't know.
so socializing back then was different, right? You had to actually go out to get a girl.
Oh
Or
yeah,
get a
yeah.
guy.
There's no apps and
Yeah.
social media. True.
So if you want to bag a girl, like you'd have to actually go out there and
socialize.
yeah, you know. And back then also, you know, the lines were a lot more blurred when it came to harassment. So like it trips me out to this day that like you can't walk up behind somebody and dance and then, you know, you could get arrested.
No, you might get an elbow.
Yeah. You know, back then, like you would just get get away. No. So, but at the time, like shucks, I was doing so much of those that the drive home at 4 a.m. was getting hard for me.
Brutal.
And so the time gas prices were at $5 a gallon. There's some kind of issue with the government. And so I found a place to stay that was cheaper than actually buying gas.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I ended up in radio there. But there was a big cut in Clear Channel in history. They cut half of the company. I don't know what the reason was. I forget. But I was part of that cut.
Mm-hmm.
So after being cut from there and recording me getting fired and putting it on my next mixtape and whatnot, I took a 9-month break for unemployment and then ended up at 1027 A Bomb.
And then you've been there since.
I've been with that company since, which is on its third company now.
Oh, okay.
Sold twice already.
Dang. Well, you're still sticking around.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
can't get rid of you.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is, like, they say, you hear a lot, yeah, and you even alluded to it earlier about, like, you know, radio on some kind of decline and not a lot of people listen to radio. It's such a witch's tale, bro, that concept.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we see the amount of listeners, it's still very good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still very busy. What I've done with the research, when I've done looking into it all, TV's actually on a much bigger decline than radio.
Because of streaming.
Yeah. Streaming is going to smash TV.
Yeah.
And the one thing in comparison, because I do podcasting and I do radio, and I see both worlds, one you can consume on your own time, which is podcasting, right? You can podcast, pause, play, you know, digest it when you want. Radio, you have to tune in at a specific time for your favorite show. But the one thing podcasting can't do that radio can do is give you up-to-the-minute, late-breaking information, which is an emergency. You know, if there is an earthquake and a tsunami's coming, or
Traffic updates.
Traffic updates. I've done radio broadcasts when there's supposed to be a tsunami. One time I was at a nightclub. I was at Oceans. And we're at Oceans. And we all get the alert on our cell phone. And you see the whole club stop and look at their phone. Tsunami incoming. And we're like, oh my God. We got to show up to the station and broadcast. I am sloshed, bro. Like, I run to Walmart, grab some water, bring it to the station, and we're doing our broadcast to remind people, let everybody know there's a tsunami coming. It's supposed to land at 7 a.m. We give you all the updates from Oahu Civil Defense, etc. We have a girl from the club there. Like, who just looks as smashed as we do. It's like, what the fart is going on here? It got to a point, because I couldn't believe what I was reading. You have to give information, right? And we want to remind you to find high ground and, you know, make sure you get above the mountain, go up, you know, and et cetera, yada, yada. And I'm just like, yo, go up the hill. Like, just go up a hill. Wherever you at, find a hill, go up the hill. Like, why are we giving you all this information when there's a wave coming? Just go up a hill, bro. What's so hard about getting your family up a hill? It's ridiculous, right? Like,
Yeah.
When I watch all these newscasts, I'm like, brah, what is all this excess information?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of it these days is almost like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, right? Everybody's like, oh, tsunami warning. and people don't really do much
Yeah.
about it these days.
Then
'Cause
you
it's
know
like,
what? It's called natural selection,
Yeah.
bro. Like if you are not gonna move, then stay. Like you know what I mean? But don't inconvenience
remember that
nobody.
one interview with the guys fishing? And he's
Yes,
like,
Carl.
that was so funny.
Yo, that's the young homie. Like
Yeah.
we actually brought him on the radio show right after, and he is a hood legend in Kalihi.
Really?
Yes, and all for just being himself, right?
Yeah, that's what people want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wasn't wrong.
Mhm.
There was no tsunami. We all felt it in the air.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of feel it. So.
Yeah, that's funny. So radio is still thriving because there's
Mhm.
still an audience that they're still listening to radio on their drive to work in the morning,
Mhm.
maybe waking up, playing it on top, I don't know, their phones. Can you play on your phone?
You can. People have apps or
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do
or
websites.
yeah. Do people have radios at home these days? I don't know.
Some people do, and there's
Yeah.
a lot
or
of
TV. They put it on the TV, maybe.
the TV's
Yeah.
one. Plenty kupuna like to listen to the actual radio,
Yeah.
which is nice because you know you would get kupuna listening to us do booty call, right? Like,
That's funny.
yeah.
Okay, so how did you end up podcasting and hosting the Aloha Hour? Because there used to be a different host, right? I
Yeah.
can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was a Jane, I forget his name.
I don't. Yeah.
Good brother, but
Hmm.
I was actually a guest on there. I've known John for quite some time. He's a really good guy.
Yeah. Solid.
I was a guest on the podcast, and we had a great episode. They've, you know, being them being new to the game, I don't think they got to experience professional speaking like yourself or myself. So when I was a guest on their podcast, you know, I had gone in there with the intention of, okay, you know what, let's turn this into a get to know everybody because I don't even know you two guys that well. You know, I know Johnny, but I don't know you. Let's talk about you guys. And I started turning it into like a roundabout instead of a back and forth. And so that episode sounded really good. They had a lot of fun. It was a good time. I always wanted to do a podcast because radio, you know, traditional radio is very slapstick comedy. Everything's like short form. Because people are just waking up. They, you know.
Yeah. It's like you gotta hook them. It's like constant Vine videos.
Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Everything's just bang, bang, bang. And I wanted deeper conversations. You know, I wanted to talk story, you know? So when Johnny had proposed it for me to jump on with him, I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Let's bring on some people. Let's talk story. I want to bring on my friends, have a platform for some of the homies to get up on as well, and just do it. Just talk story, you know? And
And you do great at that. Yeah. You got so much experience talking.
Yeah.
It's like you're part Portuguese.
Yeah. Big time, bro. I got the hair to prove it.
You got well, Tumo had the shirt. Portuguese by blood, Portuguese by choice.
That's facts, bro. Facts.
Yeah, I love that. And so you're deep into the radio, podcasting, MC. Is there anything else you're not doing these days, or something that you're looking forward to getting into?
I mean, no. I just like, you know, since I was a kid, right? Like, everything was microphone based. Like everything was like live or recorded. Honestly, I'm finding like fun in the construction field right now. You know, just to keep my body moving and doing something tangible.
Yeah.
You know.
You need one of those high-vis Aloha shirts.
I have 10 of them already, bro.
Aloha Apparel. They sent me one.
Bro, let's go. Yeah, Shane's solid,
I haven't worn it yet, so.
Bro, they're actually like stylish outside of like safety gear.
Yeah, I mean? It's cool.
Yeah, they got style. I like that. Yeah, I rock them at work.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. And they allow you to wear it?
Yeah.
Because it's still it's considered a high-vis shirt?
Yeah, it's, you know, it meets requirement codes, you know.
Wow.
It depends though. Some scenarios I'll put on the work vest. But you know, I do mostly traffic control and like really light labor, really light.
Yeah.
So, but that stuff is very interesting to me right now. You know, it's tangible. It's hard work, and in our industry, there's not a lot of the kind of guys I looked up to growing up, which is very strong alpha bradas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I was a very angry person through a lot of my career, on the low,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, so, I had a lot of insecurities. I come from the country going into this Honolulu life, and they look at you different.
Mm-hmm.
They almost like a form of classism.
Totally.
So I already was like, oh, you think you bad? Like, you're over here walking like you're a gangster,
Mm-hmm.
clown, you know what I mean? And you like punch somebody or you like slap somebody. And it was really tough for me to swallow at times. And it's because, and again, so I really like being in this industry. I don't get to find a lot of people like myself who is like just solid bradas, who is men. I don't know how to explain it, but I always call it, they're like men.
Mm-hmm.
Like no nonsense, like
No fingernails painted, stuff like
no,
that.
none of that stuff. Just straight up like, but can solve problems with the most simple idea, right? Like this is just do this, like oh, the thing not high enough, put couples in the blocks, like, simple things like, and that kind of stuff. Like I value, because that's the kind of things that was those are the kind of men that raised me. It's the kind of guys I seen growing up, and that like put me in check. The same kind of guys that will scold you even though you're not their kid. And I think that's the deeper value of why I like the construction side, because I get to hang around like bradas like me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry for my generation being soft.
Nah, you can have us too. Like,
I mean, I feel like my generation was maybe the last of the like semi-hard, just like can still do manual labor. And
well,
like,
no, it's crazy. So like, I feel like the generation under you, which is like what, like early 20s.
Gen Z.
Is that Gen Z?
Yeah, I'm millennial.
Millennial, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a zennial.
Yeah, right before me.
Yeah. So Gen Z, I feel like they're because I work with some, bro. These guys are young. One of the guys that I look up to on our site, he's just turned 21, bro. But just understand hard work. They were raised that way.
Yeah.
I look at that guy's father. He's on hammer. Like,
but they have to be from certain families like that.
Yeah, certain backgrounds. Yeah, but it's possible. It just depends on what. Like sometimes, unfortunately, the generation prior to them are too busy. Right? Like you just figure it out. I'm gonna go, I don't want to hear from you. Watch this pad for 20 hours.
Yeah, watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, they're not like very hands-on. And it's not their fault. They don't have time to.
Yeah. And like you said, there are people within these generations that are like the bradas that you like to work with. So I don't mean to umbrella everybody underneath this, but it's just most of the people that I see that's in my younger brother's generation, like my siblings complain all the time how we had to do all these chores and do all these things before you could even go hang out with our friends and, yard work and mow the lawn. And now I don't even know how many people even mow the lawn these days, They got the riding mowers and everything.
There's an app for that, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there what do they call that? Robot vacuum for cutting grass yet?
Oh, wait, is that actually a thing? Oh,
no, I'm wondering.
Yeah, Roomba.
Yeah, is there a Roomba for yard work?
At some point, I'm sure there will be. Right on. Okay, let's take a quick shishi break and we'll come back with the social media fan questions. All right, we're back from a quick shishi break. We got a new guest in here, Mark Steezy Ho'omalu Styles.
Yep, Steezy Kelly Ho'omalu.
Steezy Kelly Ho'omalu. Okay, and I'm coming back on air from a shishi break, opening the Kolea hop water, this new lychee flavor, which I haven't tried it, so this is my first time trying it. I got to take a break from the coffee.
Bro, what is that?
What is that?
What is that?
It's hop water. So it's
Hop
like,
water.
you know how they make beer, they use hop. But this is a non-alcoholic, it's 0 carbs, 0 calorie, new beverage that just was released this year.
Nice.
So it's like a sparkling water, like a LaCroix, bubbly, but it's a local one. It's brewed in Kona.
Oh, nah.
Yeah. Ooh, this smells good. I'll give you some to take home because I know you got your coconut water.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, lychee. I think this is my favorite. I love lychee.
You mean lychee?
Lychee. Lychee. Lychee and chichi and shishi. And those are my bars
Oh,
today.
let's go. Lychee, chichi, shishi flavors.
The lychee makes me shishi. Okay. All right. Whew. I need a break from that coffee. This is why I don't drink coffee.
Okay, I'm going to take this off. I feel weird. I don't know how he does it, bro.
Am I dark? Can I see? Oh, no. Is it really dark?
Yeah. This is like...
Oh,
Bro.
it's like, yeah. It is kind of weird. It's like a bluish color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like Bret the Hitman Hart right now.
I'm Kamaka Flocka Flame. What are you talking about? Shout out to my gay fans, the Kamaka Flocka Flamers. Mahalo for always commenting on my stories, replying to my stories. You know who you are. Boom, 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 boom.
Let's go. Yes, sir.
There you go. Okay. All right. So let's get into the social media fan questions. First one comes from Reese K. Paul. This person says, top 5 classic rap albums and why?
Oh, that's a real question from Reese?
Yeah. Oh, you know Reese?
I know Reese Paul. He's one of the hottest comedians in Hawaii, bro. I'm shocked he didn't try to troll me right now. Top 5 rap albums of all time? Ooh, that's a deep one, bro. I'm going to have to go with definitely Bone Thugs in Harmony. He's 1999 Eternal. Why? Because they developed and showed a sound that nobody to this day could replicate. You know, they mixed harmonies with singing, with rapping, with melodies. And they also did devil worshipping, and it was okay in the hood.
What do you mean by that?
Bro, they had like crazy everything was about like, it was very demonic of an album if you really listen to it.
Like it's one of those things you go on YouTube and it's like, you won't believe what this album is actually saying, like one of those kind of things.
No, I think it was
like
a secret style of presentation. Like, so like in between they do like these doo-wop harmonies, but it would be like, dear Mr. Ouija, could you please tell me my future? Will it die a murder? And they did a whole lot of like almost demonic things on the album. It was very dark.
I guess I don't know them that well. I only know like the popular songs.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I deep dove into Bone Thugs like hard because yeah, they're my absolute biggest inspiration.
Okay, so that's one.
One, you would have to go with Eminem.
Which one?
Oh, that's a tough one, bro. That's a tough one. Because the first album was, I think, Marshall Mathers LP.
What songs are that? I don't really know albums.
That's You Don't Wanna Fuck with Shady.
Okay, so this is a Slim Shady era.
Will fucking kill you. Yeah, because I think that was like him actually accepting that he's a twisted person, you know, in the character. I think that was the one that everybody started to celebrate him being a wild person.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. God, I gotta go with Biggie. Biggie's is it Life After Death?
Okay. Are you a Biggie over Pac guy?
You know, it's hard to say. That's an unfair argument.
They're both great in their own.
Yeah, and then like, you know, like what would you do like if he kept making music? Would this album be as good? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. Like when you start, I call it the Lauryn Hill effect.
Okay.
Right. Lauryn Hill has so many classics, and she only dropped one album. I mean, there was an unplugged album too, but all of her stuff came from Miseducation. When you make something so great, it's unfair to compare their next work to that work, because then now it almost like dilutes the artist's work. Yeah. In that case, Biggie died at the release of the album, which made it historic. So, you know.
Okay.
Would Biggie be as good to this day? I don't know. Yeah. Might have been boring after a while.
Okay, 3.
Oh, God. Best rap album of all time. I'm just trying to look at what albums I can listen to front to back. Lupe Fiasco, The
Oh,
Cool.
nice.
That one's a really good album.
Yeah,
Front to back.
he doesn't do much these days. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think because he still does. It's just
Okay,
it's
not
not
as
as popular.
mainstream.
One, maybe because he doesn't have the machine, but two, also, I think when you grow as artists, you start losing a lot of fans that are only there like fair weather fans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? You lose people who are there for the hype.
Yeah, I used to love him, Lupe. I guess I'm a fair weather fan.
Yeah. Well, if you love that album,
Yeah, Hawaii. Yeah, the kick push and
Yes.
daydream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those songs.
What is it? Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was a very cinematic album. It showed people a different opening of rap that is like not your standard 4 bar by 4 bar. It just kind of opened up the spectrum of music.
Yeah, I love when I see some sort of reel or something online where they're like explaining everything, because there's a lot that goes over people's head. Kendrick had like a bunch of that in I think that album. I don't know, my little brother's super into it, and it explains like all like the triple entendres and
There's
said like
tons.
all these secret meanings for every single line, whatever. It's crazy.
There's tons.
Yeah.
It's just how you want to approach your audience, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna add. So you talked about your top 5 albums. Can I know your top 5 rappers?
Ugh.
And this is always a hard one.
Well, yeah. But I'll always go back to my first answer. Eminem has to be number one. Eminem's absolute best. He not only crossed into the black industry, but he also does it he does his growth and his styles so that it could teach you, right? Like how to do it. Like it almost is very like instructional as well. Yeah, Eminem has to be the guy.
Nice.
Secondly, I would go with Kendrick. Kendrick's definitely up there. I don't want to say Biggie. It's so cliche. But Biggie's definitely up there. I like Method Man. Method Man's one of my biggest inspirations. He was smooth. Top 5 rappers. So what did I do? Eminem, Kendrick.
Method Man. So 2 more.
Wait, Eminem, Biggie, Method Man, Kendrick.
So 1 more.
Oh, I just feel like my back's against the wall. People are gonna hate me.
You could have some honorable mentions.
Yeah, right. God, who do I listen to a lot? Bruh, he's not a rapper, but he's a rapper. Damian Marley.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Damian Marley, he's got mad bars.
And he had some flow. Was it Beautiful and what there's one song I love where he's like it's on my Spotify. Where he's, unless I'm thinking of Beautiful. There's one Beautiful and something else that I love. One of my favorite songs ever.
God, Damian's like, so Damian, like on a personal level, was got me to understand and embrace God.
Oh, really?
Like whatever God is to any person out there, for me, like it was a song. Yeah, I listened to In His Own Words. It's a song. It was from Distant Relatives with Nas, and I remember I was driving, bro. I had a black Acura. I was in the middle of the streets doing hoodlum shit, driving, and then my arm was out the window, and I looked, and I had this like sun tattoo from the Filipino sun, and I was listening to a song, and he was rapping. I was like, holy shit! It all just came together at that moment, He what did he say? All things are related and creation is a package. Generate together and increase the wattage. Hold it, I go manage. Tell Babylon you can't do Rasta damage, non-stop it through the passage. God is always promised. Like God is always honest. Fucking anyway.
Our whole entire episode just got demonetized now.
Sorry, bro. But yeah, frick, bro. Like that moment I was like, oh, he's I met him too. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Normal.
That's a good unique answer.
How about you?
Yeah.
You got a top 5?
I rarely listen to new music these days, and
Oh, so Lil Pump's not on your top
I have a
5?
big no, I have a big country phase recently.
No way.
Yeah, I was like all in Zach Bryan, Morgan Wallen, Chris Stapleton, like all that.
Yo, with that, real quick, I don't mean to pause you, but
No.
have you heard Mauli's new song?
With the New West song or which one?
His New West. I think it's a Sip of Summer, Last Sip of Summer, or One More Sip of Summer.
I saw the trailer on Instagram. I didn't listen to the whole song.
Bro,
It's good.
brother went full country.
Oh, okay.
Like not island country.
Just
Like
country,
he went
country.
full. Like I listened to it. If you hear it with your eyes closed, bro, you wouldn't even know that that's Mauli.
Oh, okay. I gotta check it out after this.
You might have to add Mauli's new one to your country
Okay.
era.
Yeah, I listen to just a lot of podcasts
And country.
sometimes silence. I haven't listened to music in a while actually, because once football season started, I was just listening to fantasy football podcast, and then I gotta listen back to my own podcast. So usually that's what I would do when I'm driving, and I got into audiobooks, so basically just audiobooks. So once in a while I'll be like, I should listen to music, but I just go to my like songs, so it's the same songs that I've heard for like the last couple of years, so it's nothing new. And once in a while I'll go to like the newest release or something, or I don't know. But top 5, probably Tupac, Eminem, Slug, Atmosphere.
Oh,
Yeah.
you one of those?
Yeah, I loved Atmosphere growing up. Childish Gambino. Because I used to watch him on YouTube when he used to do Derek Comedy. I don't know if you remember that. He used to have a YouTube channel called Derek Comedy with some other people. And then he went on Community. And during that time, which is a TV show on NBC, during that time I became a really big fan of him. Then found out he also rapped, so I followed his rap career.
Wow.
And I loved how like witty he was, and he'd have these like real crazy bars, like put my soul on the track like Shoes did, you know, stuff like that. Black and white music, call that a mixtape or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So he had really cool bars. And then 5, maybe I'll go like old school Kanye.
Oh, I forgot about Ye.
Yeah, old school Kanye. Like
I forgot about Ye.
I love like Street Lights is one of my most underrated songs that that's like one of my hype songs. Street Lights, you know that song?
No, I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's like Street Lights. Happen to be just like moments passing. You never heard that one?
No, I don't think so.
But that's just one of my like calm hype songs that I listen to. And then a lot of his stuff like All Fall Down, Go There, all those things. Yeah
Man,
I love
music.
Homecoming too with the guy from Coldplay.
Yeah,
I love that song.
No, he has a laundry list of fire songs. Like,
But I like old school Kanye. Through the Wire.
Yeah, the samples.
Yeah.
Well, there was he did not too bad in his like that last album for his mom. I think was like a great album. It's called Donda, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that one. But yeah, this was like because in high school and early college, I used to be really into music. I'd go on this website like Hilly Dilly. I don't even know if you've heard of that.
No.
I'd find new music. Like Sam Smith. This is like I watched Sam Smith's YouTube before like he had like 1,000 videos on a song. It would like feature like these new artists like Lord. I was like one of Lord's like first 10,000 Twitter followers. Like,
really?
So I was like super into music back then. And then I went to the Peace Corps, and then I barely keep up with anything.
There's no internet there.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I was like super into that. Like my brother told me about Mac Miller because he used to follow him on YouTube and stuff like that. So I was into that, like trying to be one of these people's like first, I guess, listeners and try to tell people about them. Like even Chance the Rapper.
Chance.
Like I used to listen to his stuff back in the days, and then when I came back, he was like. He sounds different. I don't know if you ever knew his like really old stuff. I swear
I don't know how old. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, do you know this guy John Bellion? Do you ever heard of John Bellion or Black Keys?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, these are all.
I know Black Key from the construction site.
Oh yeah, that's one different brother. Yeah.
Black Keys, you said?
Black Keys, yeah. There's just one song, Smooth Moving on YouTube. It's one of my favorite songs ever.
Nah.
It's just like this guy, John Bellion and Black Keys. John Bellion got pretty big over the last couple of years. He produces a lot of stuff. Like he's probably one of those like ghostwriters that he's written like some of like the biggest songs, like I think maybe for like Justin Bieber or whatever.
Oh.
But he's like this producer and he would rap. But I gotta show after this. I'll show you that song "Smooth Moving." Some of the lines are like crazy. Yeah.
Nah.
I'll show you after this.
Who knew you were a music guy, bruh?
Yeah, no, not anymore, but I used to be. Yeah. In my own genre, you know. I used to love the atmospheres. This guy Greaves. I don't know if you've ever heard of Greaves. Yeah. So yeah. All right. Next question comes from Is the Illis. Shout out to Is. He's one of my PTs, my physical therapist.
Hey, Is.
He was just talking. He's like, oh yeah, I saw you're gonna get Krystilez. He wants to know, when's the next Angry Local song dropping? And I guess you already said.
Well, I mean, we're dropping like content, but I don't know if we're dropping a song yet. Hopefully soon. I mean, we don't have a definitive plan. We kind of just go with the wind, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Wherever spirit takes us. We have a catalog that's just waiting to send.
Like unreleased kind songs.
We have tons. But it's just, I don't know if it just doesn't feel right yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're waiting to just when everything
right time.
Yeah, you know, you just go with, you'll know, you know. You just know when that moment is there. It's like, oh, okay, we'll drop it now. Let's do this. And everything starts moving in motion.
Totally. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Kuakaloa_Robinson. He says, favorite local rapper?
Ooh. Krystilez.
There you go. Next question.
Oh, man. Outside of myself? Shucks. That's a tough question.
Mm-hmm. Or I guess maybe some upcoming people that you want to shout out.
It's kind of like everybody, bro. There's a bunch. Well, Os and Mox are definitely like my biggest inspirations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every time we lock in, there's always something like to get me excited about. Punahele is definitely one to look out for always.
Punahele, what the fighter?
No, not Soriano. Punahele.
Dropping haymakers and bars all at the same time.
Punahele Soriano. Not Punahele. Punahele. He's a rapper from Makaha.
Okay.
But very activist movement. But he's also a battler too. So like,
okay.
I actually I remember we were at an event. We had a battle, bro, and we were doing like this emceeing event at Republic, and we threw a bunch of challenges at different rappers, one of them being a battle.
Mm-hmm.
And I got paired up with Punahele, and I was like, damn, man, he's got all the juice right now. And bro smoked me right on that stage. I was like, but we knew it. We both knew it. And he took it nicely on me. I was like, oh, this is a good kid. Punahele is one. Road M, of course. Boto Bangers is always on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Ro is very special. He's a very special cat. Yeah, there's a lot, bro.
Yeah,
we have so much MCs.
That's good. That's good that we
time,
we have a lot of people. I guess it's just about marketing themselves and coming to the
slow mo, bro.
Slow mo.
His name's the Oos.
Okay,
but him right now, he is in his bag of doing his kind of music, which is pretty hard, hard spitting MC. From the trenches. He's from Pupuole. Or not Pupuole. What is Poop Town?
Not sure.
The place in my power. I think it's Pupuole.
I'm from Hilo, so.
Yeah, anyway, he's from the very slummity slums of the world in Hawaii. But he's also an OG. He's like around my age.
Okay.
And he's on a tear right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So but he's been doing it for a while. He's just kind of blowing up now.
Yeah, and he's also been around the US, like doing a bunch of music in different neighborhoods, like California, New York.
I know IA.
IA is definitely
he's been doing it for a while.
Yeah. IA, we got a couple songs together.
Yeah, the Nanakuli one.
Yeah. But he's definitely on that list, bro. Yeah, there's a bunch. Aloha is always there. But Aloha is the same thing. We're in the same space now of like something gotta move you
Yeah,
to
because he
do it.
doesn't really post much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever moves him, bro. He's just like he is doing what I always believed, but he's always found a way to do it because he's also really good at it. Everything is art, right? No matter what you're doing. Right now, he's in his construction art
Yeah, yeah.
phase. You
Breaking
know?
down walls.
Yeah, you know, he had his chef art phase.
Yeah, I loved it.
Like my man just has a really good eye on making everything cool. He's just cool
He's
all
just
day.
a cool guy.
Yeah, everything he does is cool. Like I'm just like, brah,
Cool aloha.
cool aloha. Let's go.
Cool aloha, my homie. Yeah. Okay, next question comes from Peely_SOV. This person says, dream venue.
Dream venue. Brah. Monolith Gardens, brah. We need that Hawaii Fest stage.
How was that? I didn't get a chance to go.
Yo.
Once I heard Hiawatha was there, I was like, no, I'm not going.
Oh, damn.
No, we love Hiawatha.
Damn.
But once I heard Jordan was drumming over there, I was like, I'm good.
Damn. They're pretty good freestylers, you know.
Yeah, I heard that guy Leva got some bars. Hyla.
Right,
Freestyler.
it was freaking magical, bro. Like it was insane. I mean, especially if you were aware with the drama that went into the show, which many people knew. So right off the gate, for whatever reason, bro, the show gets announced. 20 acts on this show. We have the Marley tribute with Jay Boog, Sean Paul, Ja Rule, Ashanti, all these local artists. And the very first weekend it goes on sale, somebody puts up a post on Stolen Stuff Hawaii that beware, this is a scam.
Oh.
And they tell their story. I have ordered my tickets. I wanted to see it, get it printed or whatever the story is. But beware, this looks like a scam. This thing goes into an echo chamber of negative comments. Then this guy continues on ranting and raving about how much this is a scam. I bought my tickets, didn't get my tickets. Ticket company won't answer the phone. Mind you, ticket company clearly states they're only open Monday through Friday. Come Monday, still haven't got my tickets, can't get a refund, ba-da-da-da-da. The promoters, this is afterwards, we find out this is the most return tickets he's ever seen in his life.
Whoa.
Like just historic over one weekend. From that post, it turns into a bunch of people posting viral videos or making videos go viral about how much this is a scam. Don't believe them. They're from the mainland.
This whole thing.
Bro, the guy went into a rabbit hole, found out the business registration of the promoter, right? It's public knowledge. Decides to post the address of the owner. That's his house with his family that lives there.
Oh my God.
Wife and kids, the whole nine. And just completes this narrative of this is a scam. Even O's posted a video about it, bro. Everybody went in on it. It was just like, holy shit.
Like, he thought it was really a scam.
A lot of people thought it was. No way. And, you go to concerts in Hawaii, you have maybe one or two big headliners. This one had like 5.
Yeah. And it Monolith Garden, which never had a concert before, right?
Ever.
Like yeah.
So they had a tough time convincing people it was a real show, even though they literally paid everybody up front. So all the artists got their money already, and they ended up having to partner with Hawaii's Finest to, bring more credibility.
Yeah.
We brought the promoter on our radio show. We interviewed him, shot him all the hard questions. He gave us his honest answers up until finally they started seeing the stages go up. That ticket sales went through the roof. Like, oh, this is a real show. So by the time, that's on like Tuesday. So by the time we get there on Saturday, to see 10,000 people show up, I think we all were emotional.
Oh, wow.
So, and then to have like the Marleys headline that show, it was just, it was special. It was really special.
That's so awesome.
I mean,
I wish I went now.
Well, on top of it all, like, with the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement involved, everything was done right by Hawaiians, right? Before they even started to break ground, like Kumuhina them went over there, prayed for the Aina and got, make sure we had permission and understood everything was going to be okay. And We did the right things. Right before the Marlies went on, Kumuhina went on with Star. You know Star?
From
Star
Stepless?
Kalahiki?
Oh,
No.
no.
Star from the Steppers. Different Star. Star Kalahiki. They sang Kuha Aheo right
Okay.
before the Marlies came on. At the end of both shows, you did Hawai'i Aloha to make sure everybody
So cool.
is in the right space before they leave. So there was no negative, like, we didn't end up on Hungry Hungry Hawaiian, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
So I mean, it
Wow.
was magical. I got emotional during a lot of parts of that because there was things that you would hear there that you wouldn't hear anywhere else. There was the Marleys and J Boog doing a Bob Marley tribute. We had Mystic Marley singing her grandpa's song, and doing her rendition of Redemption Song, which is
So cool.
yeah, it was that stage I would like.
Okay.
Because
Are there plans to have other concerts there?
yeah, there is a Hawaii Fest 2 on the way, but I don't know if it's going to be at Mauna Loa Gardens yet or not.
Okay.
I don't know if they finalized anything or what the deal is, but I'll tell you one thing, that stage was insane. It was the biggest stage I've seen in Hawaii, or at least got to be on. The guys, the Hawaii stage guys, they do shows like that, of that magnitude, but it's always for like some private tech company in Ko'olina, and they have Katy Perry live for 200 people.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
that is a stage I want, because then I can ride my motorcycle on it or something. I can come up on a moped. Man.
Can you actually do that over there?
If you wanted to, yes.
Oh, cool.
Because the stage is so huge.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I got tired. Walking around this thing. I'm like on stage, I was like,
Introducing Mystic Marley.
Bro, it was insane. Like, yeah, the next one you got to come out.
Totally.
That kind of production.
I could have won for free too. I was offered.
But what?
I don't know what.
I seen the kind of Lincoln, huh?
Yeah. Lincoln was asking if I wanted to go.
Yeah, you should have came, bro.
Tickets for me. Oh, Friday was Valentine's.
Yeah.
So that's why I was with my girlfriend. Saturday, I think we're just old people, honestly. I think we just like to stay home.
I think he rolled in with like Ja Rule them. Like as the homie.
He went in with Ja Rule. He went their team.
Yeah.
Because he was with them the night before, and then he asked me if I wanted to go, and I just I don't know where. It's hard to get us out of the house.
Yeah.
Also, but I can't I can stand. It's just I'm not super comfortable like standing for a long time and walking around with my knee. So I would need to like sit down, and even sitting down like this for a long time isn't super comfortable. So let's just use that as my excuse for now. Yeah.
Okay, uncle.
Mahalos. Yeah.
My knee get gout.
Yeah, I get the knee gout. Oh, you Samoan? No, that's Japanese. I get that Japanese gout. The Portuguese gout. Okay, last question comes from our Patreon. Kekai H says, if you weren't doing what you're doing now, what do you think you'd be doing?
Be in jail.
Oh, for real?
I don't know, bro. Like, what music has provided me is a therapeutic outlet for things I couldn't comprehend and things that I wasn't old enough to process at the time, and I wasn't emotionally intelligent enough to process. Music is such a big helper of understanding myself. And I know, like, at the time, if I wasn't able to take a look at who I was from the outside in, which would mean I would record a song and I'll listen to it and I'm looking at myself, I wouldn't know how to process the feelings, and I probably would make some really bad mistakes. I probably would have made some unfortunate decisions because I had nowhere for these feelings to go. And that's, I hope to, in the future, find a way to offer this to people who also have the same feelings and the same, I really empathize with people from hard upbringings, and again, if not for the music, that's why I went to it so much, because I knew it was a way for me to see myself and understand myself without taking it out on other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I'm really happy you had that outlet.
Well, you gotta, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
think about it. You know, like I mean, I'm sure you didn't have a rough upbringing.
Yeah, I mean, divorced parents, that
Mhm.
stuff, I'm sure parents struggled financially, but they never made it known to us kids. Not until it's not until like I get older and my older brother's like, Brakamaka, you don't even know how hard it was for them. You was just out playing soccer and getting fancy shoes and with your faux hawk and earring. He always tells me that, but you don't even know what they did, so it's not until like later.
So they did their
Yeah.
job. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I
Wow.
I never had to deal with a lot of hardship, even though there was probably hardship in my family, especially with me moving away.
Hmm.
My senior year over here, so
Are you the oldest?
I'm the middle, but
Oh.
it's my older brother, me, and then I have a stepsister and then half siblings. But we're all close. But like when I was moving over here, like my stepdad was going through like cancer and stuff like that.
Oh.
But I was away, so I was kind of like ignorant to it all, kind of just ignorance is bliss.
Hmm.
So I was just kind of doing my own thing. I didn't really have to deal with that. And like even growing up, I had I was like the best athlete in my family, so everybody would come to my soccer games, my football games. I had like the cleats I wanted to get, that was like $300, and I got good grades so I could get a PlayStation, or like if I came up with half of it, my parents would pay for the other half. So
Hmm.
like I always had those kind of opportunities for me to get everything that I wanted,
Hmm.
or like not even knowing like, oh, maybe like an auntie or uncle had to help financially with this stuff or whatever. So that's why I really appreciate my parents
Bro, they did a
growing up,
good job.
especially like
Yeah.
my mom going back to school to be an RN at after having 5 kids, and like my stepdad having to provide for all of us as we're
Yeah.
growing up. So yeah, that's why, and that's a big reason why I wanted to join the Peace Corps, because I felt like I had a really good life here, and I wanted a challenge. I wanted to struggle. I wanted to give back on a bigger scale.
That's the one thing I'm afraid of with my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of parents, inadvertently, or they don't know that they're doing it, but they share their traumas with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got mine. You know what I mean? Like I have money trauma from my grandmother at the time. Like, so you know give your mom and dad a hug for me, bro, because they did a good job.
Totally,
Like
yeah.
that kind of thing. Like, so it's not passed down as a generational trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
They
Yeah.
put you on a good spot because, bro, you're doing good, and
Thanks.
you present yourself well. I can see, I'm like, oh, bro, this guy. I was always curious. I was like, has he gone through anything? Like, and now it makes sense. Like, your parents never showed it to you or shared it with
Mhm.
you, and
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I had to find struggle in my own life to make me resilient.
Hmm.
Whether that was just like moving here on my own and figuring out like
Yeah.
how to get to places and like find my own way of income. Like I paid for my whole college on my own. That's why I had the debt. That's
Yeah.
why I had to do the race 50K,
Mhm.
which is its own struggle, and just like joining the Peace Corps and having to survive all of that on my own. That was just my version of doing hard things, and give it providing struggle for myself to know what I was capable of.
Yeah.
And especially see it in other people
Mhm.
and learn about other people's stories. Like I'd be in the capital of Madagascar at night, and I had long hair and whatever. So these girls would come up and be like, "Oh, like just so see, like you Jesus," and like touching my hair and stuff.
Oh,
Like you want a wife or whatever. Like, and then I would just talk to them because they would speak French to you, and I'll speak Malagasy to them, and like, "Oh, you speak Malagasy," and like learning about like these girls are sent from like the south of Madagascar to go to the city to find a rich husband to take them out of their situation.
Wow.
And I was like, girl, I ain't got no money. I'm a
Yeah.
volunteer here. You barking up the wrong tree. So, but like asking them questions like, oh, wow. So like, why are you here? And, like
Oh, that's crazy.
learning about others, and
Yeah.
being able to not necessarily empathize with them, because I don't have the same upbringing as them, but being able to, gain an understanding of how people grow up and how their upbringings really affect them.
Mm.
They are like this because that's how they were raised, and that's all that they know.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
think
that's
it just
awesome.
it helped me understand others, and in doing so I really understood myself better.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I can't. That's why I'm not a rapper, because I know I can't.
Well, you can. I mean, rapping is just,
Yeah,
it's
I'd
a
be like a
sport.
Drake rapper.
Not bad for being number 2, bro. Right? Like, right? We all are like Drake, whatever, but bro, he's still like second best.
Totally. Yeah.
Second richest at least.
He's richer than Kendrick.
Yeah. Is he?
Yeah, I saw this thing where it compared their stats together, like how many albums, how many songs, how many Grammys. Drake has a lot more songs and albums. Kendrick has a lot more Grammys, but his net worth is a little less.
Yeah, Drake's big, bro. He's still big.
Totally. Yeah. But mahalo everybody for the social media fan questions. Make sure you leave some for our next guest, and maybe your question will make it on the podcast. When I was on the Aloha Hour, we played Mocabs.
Yes.
And you and John had a great time.
Yes.
We played it before on this podcast. We haven't done it in a while. You haven't gotten a chance to do the adult version of it.
Yes.
So I forgot to get it during our shishi break. So I'm going to take another shishi break and come right back with the adult Mocabs. All right. We're back from another shishi break.
Yeah. So I was curious. I was asking you off air or off camera. So not one single drug in your entire life.
Yeah, not one thing. I think I mentioned it on your guys' podcast. I got high once when I ate an edible. My friend's 21st birthday party. He was like, he had a cookie in his hand, and I went into the room and I saw him holding a cookie, so I bit it. And he's like, "Oh, that's not a normal cookie." And I was like, "I don't care. It's not gonna do anything to me." I'm just like, I'm not gonna be affected by anything. But I didn't really understand edibles and stuff, so I ate the whole thing. And then like I was on a couch over here. They had like cream rolls on top of the table, and I was just like chilling for about an hour, and I was like, "See, it's not even doing anything to me." And then at some point, I just started to sink into the couch, and I was like, oh. And I was trying to get the cream rolls, and I was just like, for so long, and I couldn't get it. And so eventually, I don't know if somebody gave it to me, and then I finally got it, and I was just like, I couldn't eat it, and I don't think I ever ate it. But then at some point, I was doing like, hold up perspective. Like my friends always tease me about that, doing something like that. And it was weird because I knew what was going on. I just couldn't control it. Yeah. And that's a big reason
You're
why.
stuck in your own brain.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I, don't do anything, because I like to be in control of my actions. So, I did that, and it was cool, but I just, don't really have any interest in it. I just like to be sober and take care of other people. I thought about doing like shrooms at some point. Anything organic. I'm okay with anything organic.
It's a vegetable.
Nothing synthetic. Exactly. But then I just can't give myself a reason why I should. Because I'm not searching for anything. Like, people go on these ayahuasca trips or
ayahuasca's terrible.
Whatever.
I haven't done it, but I don't do any drugs that doesn't look like it's fun.
Okay.
Right? Like, don't you puke and everything on that?
Yeah, it like cleans you out and whatever. But like even shrooms, and like I keep telling myself maybe I'll try it, but to find like to go on some sort of trip. But I feel like I thought about it a lot, and I was thinking like, I think Peace Corps was my like trip. My ayahuasca trip, my
what the hell is going on trip.
Yeah, exactly. Because
what the hell?
Like there's different ways to get to that nirvana or whatever that feeling is. And I feel like monks do it. They get to a state where it's like you're on shrooms or whatever, but through meditation and whatever. And I think me being in the Peace Corps like helped me get to that point of enlightenment. Of where I was just like stuck in the middle of nowhere for I don't know 2 years, and I didn't really have things to do. I had a dartboard, I learned nunchucks, and I picked up guitar. But there's times where you're just literally staring at a wall.
So it's kind of like prison,
basically.
Yeah. Wait, what about drinking? Do you drink?
No, never.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I'll taste it. Like, I'm not against it. I always say I've drank, but I've never been drunk.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I'm not like, ooh, alcohol. I'm like, ooh, what is that? Like, let me taste it and be like, tastes like alcohol.
But you've done surgeries.
Yeah.
So what about the medical grade painkiller, not even like a morphine.
I take whatever they gave me, but then at some point I'm just like, okay, I don't need them anymore.
And then what do you do with them after?
I've sold some before. Like I've had like doing dental work and I have the stuff.
Yeah.
I remember in college I was like, because everybody wants it in college. So I was like, I remember selling it to a friend in college, or I have friends who asked me like after surgery, oh, did they give you anything? I'm like, I didn't give me anything good.
Oh, that's funny.
Because like I would get
that's so funny.
I'm pro drugs for other people. I'm just like not for me. And me is like everything in moderation. Do whatever you want to do as long as you're not hurting yourself and you're not hurting others. That's my main thing. But for me, it's just I just have no interest in it.
Oh, interesting. And then one more question before we get to this.
Yeah.
Do you still talk to Bretman Rock?
No.
Bruh.
Okay. Why?
I feel like we're in the same boat. I was just, we took a break, and I was like, wait a minute. He did a podcast with Bretman Rock. And I was, mind you, I met Bretman when he was in high school as a wee bit teen. And I helped him like get to do like some media things. I brought him on the radio, took him to concerts, bro, like full on like chaperone security, this kid. And like we were cool, like, I just help him whenever. I helped him. I gave him advice on how to start his business because he was like, oh, do you want to help me with my business? I was like, no, get a family member to do it. Because trust your family. Don't trust anybody else.
I just got that advice not too long ago.
Yeah. Because, trust your family. You know?
Who else are you going to trust more than your family?
Exactly. And anyway, long story short, somewhere down the line, he unfollowed me. And I was like, Bretman, we were so close at one point.
But I think that's like when they have millions of followers, like The Rock. The Rock used to follow our podcast, but he went on this thing where he unfollowed everybody, where he had zero people following, and now he only follows like a few people.
Oh,
so I think the celebrities at some point they go through these like cleanses of
all of them with the last name Rock.
Rock, exactly. Anybody with The Rock.
But yeah, so you haven't talked to him since?
I mean, he's never followed me. I've only talked to him on the podcast. I was invited to his birthday party one year, so I went to that. So we were cool, and like I could like message and he would respond back sometimes. But I think it was after he got a boyfriend he stopped responding.
Oh,
so I don't know. When we had
you lost your
episode,
chance, come on,
exactly.
You was right there, bro.
I know. So Bretman, if you're watching this, if you're ever single again, hit your boy up. My girlfriend will understand. Yeah, yeah. Because like I last time I talked to him, I think it was I was looking for a guest for our live show at the Blue Note, and I was seeing if he was interested in that. We went back and forth a little bit, and he stopped responding. And like I would say like happy birthday, and he said he would be like thanks, King, stuff like that. I think the last time I told him happy birthday, he didn't respond. So
yeah, he's such a good kid though, man. Like
good. Yeah,
seen him from like I ironically met him in a high school class to help him with like their prom and his teacher and all that, and. Watching him grow and stuff, I'm like, bro, he's a good kid. He deserves the world.
I'm a huge Bretman fan. I didn't really follow. I knew who he was, but I didn't really follow him until he came on our podcast. And that episode, I wish it was on our Keep It Aloha channel. It was on Hawaiiverse. That I think episode got like 100,000 views, and there's so many comments like shipping us together. Like, oh my gosh, it would be such a great couple.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Funny, yeah, but yeah, I would love Bretman. I would love to do another episode. I don't really bother him to ask if he wants to do another episode because I know he's super busy and doing his thing out with his chickens in Makaha.
Yeah, of course, everything got to be cute now. Like,
yeah,
his kid,
and he has his own podcast now.
Yeah. What's something radio,
the Baddest Radio.
The Baddest Radio.
I know, it's so funny because on my bio is like the biggest podcast in Hawaii according to Kamakadi Sate's mom. Because technically it is the biggest podcast, and now I tell people it's like a technical term because technically Bretman has the biggest podcast in Hawaii, but he has millions of followers, and like this guy had 200,000 followers on his podcast before he even posted an episode.
It's so not fair.
Yeah, so I was like, I mean, like technically he has the biggest podcast, but it's
but then
people just love Bretman, and I see why. I had such a when I'm asked like what was one of your favorite episodes, I always refer to that because so big, but like he's so authentic, just himself.
Yeah,
it's so awesome to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. Them two.
Yeah. Well, I would love to play this game with Bremen. He'd kill it at this. But this is so the adult mocabs, okay? So you already know how it works, right?
Yeah, I get adult mocabs right now.
And you actually corrected John because you're like, you don't pronounce the E, because we call it moke gabs, but you're just like, oh, moke gabs.
Yeah, mocabs.
You don't say, a real moke doesn't say the E.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You
that's
kinda-
something that we gotta start doing with our marketing, moke gabs.
Mocabs, yeah.
Okay, so you know how it goes, okay? So let's see, and you're really good at this, so let's try this.
So yell, hike, cope, bound down. 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 Yell, hike, cope, pound down. You like go pound now?
Oh, close.
Oh, you like go pound town?
Yeah, there
you like
you
go
go.
pound town?
Wow, I was not expecting you to get that after that.
Bruh, let's go.
Okay.
I'm always down for pound
what
town.
about this one? What about this one? This is something you definitely said in your life.
Kif meet hob holdo. Give me habot. Give me a bottle. This is a setup, bro.
Give me the bottle.
Give me the bottle. We cannot have these kind of conversations directly after speaking about Bretman Rock. I just feel like
That's just the way the cards were dealt. What about this one?
Yard cheek is sewn hails. Yard cheekies soon hails. Yard cheeky soon hails. Yard cheek, yard cheekies. Yard cheeky soon nail. Yard cheeky soon nail. Yard cheeky soon nail. Yard cheeky soon nail.
You sound more Chinese every time the more you read it.
Yard cheeky soon nail. I don't know, man. Your cheek. Your cheek is toenails.
You just said it.
Your cheek is toenails.
Your chick is so
nails. That's what I said. Your cheek is so nails.
Okay. You said it like you're still kind of questioning, like, your cheek is so nails.
I want to introduce you to my cheek.
Okay, what about this one?
Okay. Ma hunk coals ma hole. My uncle's my hole. My uncle's my hole. My uncle's Mahu. Oh, Mahu.
My uncle's Mahu.
That is a fact in my life.
What about this one?
I was actually raised by
this one, my trigger warning.
Auntie's Honda bought who? So, Auntie's Honda bought who? Oh, Auntie's in the batu.
Okay. What about this one?
Okay. Loose spoon now knee. That's the same auntie, bro. Loose spoon now knee. Oh, these are so good.
Yeah, here, what about this one?
Fork hands core hub. Forkin score hub. Fucking scrub.
There you go. This one's for you.
Tripe has meme hive ape. Tripe has meme hive ape. Tripe is meme hive ape. Tripe pass me my vape. Try pass me my vape.
What's about?
Let's go. I don't know what's there. Oh, here we go. Try pass me my vape.
There we go.
This is amazing, bro.
It's a good game, right? It's fun. Okay, let's just do a couple more because we've already been going longer.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, here, I'll give you, since I set you up with the other one, I'll give you a good one.
Hi, cat, wand, beak, bold hole. Hi, get one big bottle. Hey, some of these are very factual.
He's not saying which one. He's just saying some of them. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this is a fun one.
Note touch mile kohe. No touch mile kohe, Bretman Rock.
Bretman, ole. Okay. Oh, here, this is a fun one.
Hugh Laguan Botos Lap. Hugh Laguan Botos Slap. Wow. Pause real quick. So who writes these?
I actually don't know. Okay, so true story.
I
So
gotta figure out like
mocap's regular one. I knew about it. Like my team was like, hey, we're creating this game that another of my co-founders, they had a friend who thought of the idea right there, from Scott Nishimoto and David Aquino. So they're like, hey, you guys should produce this game. They had the idea. So my team, we had a whole Excel sheet where they had all these like ideas for the cards. So we did the mocaps, and then last year doing Made in Hawaii, because I'm pretty hands off now, I show up and they're like, hey, we have a new one, adult mocaps. I'm like, when did we make this?
I just am curious, like, who is the one in the creative meeting that went up to everyone and said, "Oh yes, you like one Boto slap?" And, like, I would look at them differently, like.
Yeah, I actually don't know. Callie, Taylor, Jared, I don't know. I just assumed that they just did it on their own.
If it came from Taylor, something is up.
I guess you know Taylor.
Yeah. You like a bottle slap.
Okay, here. How about this last one?
That's so funny.
One last one. Okay. Let's just pick a random one. Let's see. No, we already did that one. Okay. Okay, let's end on this one. This is advice for everybody here.
Nope, he won be hitch. Nope, he won bitch.
And there you go. Remember, guys.
No B1 beach.
That's adult mocaps presented by Hawaiiverse.
I love that. I love that.
These are for you to take home. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'll leave that over there.
Teach my baby mama some crazy more stuff.
Where's she from?
She's from England originally.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. She's originally from England. She came when she was like 11 or 12 or something.
Okay.
And then she went to Radford.
Okay. So she got it for the most part.
Yeah.
I just played with a friend that she's from England, and she was like, so what's like a puin sai or what's punani patrol? And like she had to ask those questions, and it's actually educational to teach people, even if they don't know.
Yeah,
like we're explaining stuff to John when we were on the Aloha Hour.
Yes. Are you hands-on with the explanations?
The puin sai ones, the boto slap sometimes. Depends.
So the boto slap is still right here real quick.
So no touch my okole.
Yeah. I love it, man.
All right, so we're coming to the back end of the podcast, and I like to ask all of my guests the same question about keeping it aloha. In your life, how do you keep it aloha?
By listening. You know, I talk a lot. I do. I have my entire career is based around what comes out of my waha. But when I'm not talking, like all I do is listen. I don't talk much in my house. And by listening, you can start to understand what someone needs, and from there you can help them. And if you even listen more intently, it might be more than what's on the surface. And you can take it a little deeper and help them as a person, as opposed to helping what their needs are at the moment. You know, so I like to pay attention to what people are saying. And I also like to look deeper. You know, where did it come from? Why is it like that? To see if there's a way I can help out on that level. Because people just need to feel significant in this world, you know? And
they want to be heard.
Yeah, and you wanna make sure you're inclusive on that level instead of just on a surface level, you know?
Totally.
That's why I wanted to know what your background was like, because I wanted to know who you were, you know? Like, I see the clips and all that, you know, but I'm also very interested at the why, you know? Why is he here?
We're very similar.
You know, you face a lot of scrutiny, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was asked to confront you on some scrutiny, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, ask me.
Well, okay. Do you believe in vertical aina?
Oh, Mark Kili'iho'omalu's clip? When he was like, we don't care about the aina or whatever.
Yes.
I like the idea of what he's saying. Obviously, you're on the spot. This is like us having a conversation. So I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, he say he don't care about Aina. I think he actually cares about Aina. He's just, that's a hyperbole, you know? He's just being himself and saying like, oh, you know, it's about the vertical Aina, you know, I don't need to be on this Aina. So for me, I'm like, I understand what he's trying to get at.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I see it. I try to critically think and be like, okay, this is what he's saying. Yes, he said it this way, because it's like it's an unedited podcast. You know, if you actually asked him again, like, do you actually care about the Aina? I'm sure he would say yes.
Yeah.
You know, so in those situations, I'm just like, well, he said that. And for that clip specifically, it's funny because I think I mentioned it on yours. Like, I'm so innocent.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about like him saying, I don't care about the Aina. I'm thinking like, oh, the vertical Aina, that's such a good perspective.
Crazy concept,
I never
yeah.
thought about that. Not even thinking about, he just said, I don't care about the Aina. You know, so that's how my brain works. I was like, oh, that was like, that's really profound.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought it was interesting too. You know, I thought it was like, oh, okay, I can see where you're coming from on this end. He's also very far removed.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So he's not experiencing Hawaiian like we have to experience Hawaiian here, which is very deep seated. But that was, so that's why I was like, oh, okay.
That one caused some controversy.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. I work with some hula hammers.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But he's also that kind of person that will say stuff like that.
Yeah, that's his wheelhouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's at the end of the day, like I've said it on another podcast here, like I support Hawaiians no matter what.
That exactly.
And you know, like that's what you're gonna go. Okay, go get it, bro. You know, but I don't know if you can get invited to the next luau when you come back down.
yeah, totally. I'm just like, even you know, Emma Koa, she's very opinionated. I invited her on the podcast.
Is that the
She's like a bigger 6 feet
Moon?
tall.
Is it the
moon
kind
kind
things?
things? You got
Yeah.
the tattoos.
Yeah.
And so many people asked me about that podcast. But like, yeah, I'm a Hawaiian, even though I do not agree with everything she does. She doesn't agree with what we do. I'm just like, come talk stories, because you represent a lot of Hawaiians out there, as I represent a lot of Hawaiians with my mindset, and we can still coexist.
Yeah, and we should. We should continue to always support each other regardless. Because like my friend Ma, he said, it's still us versus the howlies.
Exactly. One of my favorite things that one of our guests said, Hank Rogers, he's the guy who created Tetris. He got the rights to Tetris, the video game. He lives on the Big Island. We went to his house a couple years ago to do an interview, and he was like, if the aliens came, you know, because he's that kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
We're not gonna care Hawaiian, Japanese, Portuguese, whatever. We're gonna be human race versus the aliens.
Yeah.
Right? All that stuff isn't gonna matter because we're just trying to survive. So my version is like, if there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm not gonna care if you black, white, yellow, whatever. It's like, we gotta kill these zombies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Facts.
I don't care if you choose sword or shotgun as your weapon, because if you choose shotgun, I'm not going to be with your team, because everybody knows you're going to have to continue to get ammo, where if you have a sword, that thing will last as long as you want.
You really thought about this. You watch Walking Dead?
I'm a huge Walking Dead. I watched all the spin-offs. I watched The Dead City. I watched the one with Carol and Daryl. I watched all of them.
What?
I love The Walking Dead. I actively hope for a zombie apocalypse.
Well, you've trained for 3 years in a Peace Corps and found all your...
My weapon will be nunchucks, but with blades on the end. And I might kill myself, but at least I'll look cool doing it.
That's sick.
Yeah, so, but going back to the clips, and early on is we had stuff that I said where Jordan instigated stuff. So nothing ever good comes out of me and Jordan being on the podcast. So he's not allowed back on. But you're just speaking openly because you're with a friend, and you know, you say things. Obviously, you don't mean stuff the way it comes out sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the context in your head.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm the one timestamping. So I'm just like, oh, I know what I mean when I'm saying this. So it's not hurtful, or it's not, I don't mean it with any ill intent, but then you post it and people that don't know you at all, they're like, who the F is this guy saying like all these things? When people who know you and follow the podcast, like, oh yeah, he's just an innocent guy. He doesn't mean it like that. So we totally get what he's saying. You know, so stuff like that happens. And I've learned that early on in podcasting. So now I'm more conscious about the stuff that I'm putting out, knowing like this could be a little controversial. Maybe we shouldn't post that, or maybe we need a little bit more context, or maybe a disclaimer in the caption.
That's the hard part with that kind of topic, is that you're gonna have to there's always so much backstory to get to before you even get to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of have a regular conversation, and then some kind of controversial topic comes up. You can't get to a conversation going forward because there's so much here that you need to unpack first before we get here.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh.
My favorite comments are just people who's just like, oh, just watch the whole episode for the context, or just like they're defending what the guest is saying in the comments. So I don't really have to do that. So I like that. But yeah, these days doesn't bother me. And yeah, I don't think we've had a good streak of non-controversial things for a while. So
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and we're never trying to be controversial. If I'm posting something, I'm just like, wow, that's a good conversation. That's a good perspective. That's a good way to look at it. That's all I'm thinking.
yeah, but and even at that point, it triggers thought, and I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, in my opinion, that's what the greatest artists do. You know, they invoke thought.
Yeah.
You know, you look at guys. Kendrick Lamar is the primest example, right? Like, he had a whole live performance in front of 50,000 people, and he wasn't there to entertain them. He was there to invoke thought.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they all didn't have the time of their lives putting their hands up, but when they left, they questioned a lot of things.
Like, what was the meaning of that? Why did he do this?
Yeah, like
the Uncle Sam thing, everything.
And you're just sparking thought. And that is probably the best thing, because it helps people lead to their own conclusions of who they are. You know? And I think that's one of the best things I like about when you post and when people start engaging.
Yeah.
Because everyone starts realizing who they are in front of them.
Yeah, my favorite was the when I had the Kamohai and Tristan, and I was like, honestly, us Hawaiians, we complain a lot. And the whole comment section is Hawaiians complaining. I'm like, guys, you're not making us look good.
Point made. Like,
I know. I was
funny.
like, because I at one point I was just so fed up with our people.
Yeah.
And I was like, somebody's got to say something about. All I see is Hawaiians complaining about Hawaiians and fighting each other. So I was like, do I gotta be the guy who says it? And you know, I don't gotta be that guy. But at one point, I felt like I had to be. So that's why I said certain things, and I was in this like, F whatever. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
But now I'm removed from that, or I'm just like, I'll let my guests say whatever they want to say. I shouldn't be the one saying that.
Yeah. Let them be the fire starter, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll just provide the mic. Yeah. So that's where I'm at now. I'm just in an era of peace.
Well,
and especially like when you guys go fight, I gotta go do my physical therapy.
I know.
And go watch anime with my girlfriend. Like, you guys go complain and go sleep angry. I literally don't have time for that.
Trying to get back on my feet right now.
Exactly. Like, yeah. And it's hard for me to like empathize with these people who get triggered by things online, where I'm just like, I was living in a place where people couldn't even get running water.
Yeah.
Where like people were literally dying, and people are commenting like, wow, this is so hurtful and detrimental to our society. I'm like, sticks and stones, bro. Sticks and stones. Like, you really aren't dying. Like, there's people who are actually like hungry and starving. And your biggest problem is that somebody said something you disagree with.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's really hard for me to just
say, spend less time here.
Yeah.
And spend more time.
Like touch the ground, you know? Like,
yeah,
maybe this thing that we said or somebody said that you don't like what they said, but man, there's people people dying here.
Yeah.
Like this is not the worst thing that's happening to you.
Well, put the energy into action.
Exactly.
Right?
Like we
Like-
spend so much energy caring about what other people think and what other people do, especially with politics. And John, we were saying like, whatever people do, it doesn't affect me. And he was like, I can't agree with that because like I want to know where my tax money is going. Like I want to know how this is affecting me. I'm just like, my mindset is like, I'm going to keep doing whatever I do. And if we have to pay more taxes, I'll pay more taxes. If we have to pay less taxes, awesome. If my student loans get paid off, solid. But if I got to pay off my student loans, I'm going to do it. That's just how I am. I'm just like, I'm not going to let the actions of others dictate my actions.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's just how I am.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And as, somebody like you who, you basically had to create your own path.
Yeah.
You're somebody who's similar to me where you're just like, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and whatever you think or whatever you say, that's on you.
Yeah, bro. I'm from the early YouTube era of bad comments and threats. So it's just like, I get it. It's all a bunch of jargon at this point.
Yeah, all projections of other people's insecurities.
Yeah, but do something. That's all it is. You got to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, that was a good thing to bring up. Is there anything else you want to ask?
No, that was it. I got to know you before I got to that point. That's what I wanted. For me personally, I just wanted to get to know who you were and like, oh, okay, this guy's solid, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's all it is. I just wanted to know like what your background was like, and I remember I got to learn a lot during our podcast on the Aloha Hour. Especially with the Peace Corps thing and Madagascar. I didn't get to deep dive into you. Pause. But
don't get any ideas.
But learning about all of that was really great, and I was like, oh, okay. Now I see like where your eyes are. You know what I mean? You've seen some pretty interesting things, and then getting to learn about your history and stuff, and your what is that? What is the word for story in Hawaiian?
Mo'olelo.
Yeah, your mo'olelo. Then now I have a whole composite of who you are, and that's now I know where I can fit myself in if I gotta help you with anything. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. Well, it's funny because after some early controversy, like especially when I had the clip of me, Jordan saying, "Oh, Kamaka's not Hawaiian," and I'm like, I'm not Hawaiian, just playing along.
Yeah.
If you could Google, if you know how they have like suggested, like whatever, it's like, is Kamaka Diaz Hawaiian?
No.
that's what like one of the questions, or like you go to TikTok and one of the like searches like Kamaka Diaz controversy or whatever.
Oh my gosh. You're just a walking like
I know, I'm just
drama
like
king.
I'm like, you guys don't even know. I'm like the most peaceful guy. Like I ain't trying to have no drama. So it's funny. I just
You know what it is? It's the living room couch talk.
Yeah, the couch
on
critics.
a big platform. Yeah.
Yeah. But then that's something that I had to learn is like, wow, there's a lot of people watching me and that care. Because I'm like, I don't like, why do people care what I think? When they're watching this, like, you're like, some people are like, who is this guy, Kamaka Diaz? I'm like, you're making a whole video about me and like talking about me all the time. So I'm like, it must matter. But learning that is like, okay, I have some sort of kuleana to,
Well, now you do because your audience has grown substantially,
exactly. So I'm like, I do have to watch what I say.
In the very beginning, you're like a young kid that came up here and it's just like, wait a minute. What am I going to listen to this young kid for?
What are you
going to teach me? But you have a lot to share, You're very captivating and you've done a lot in your short lifespan so far,
Yeah. Thank you for calling me young. My girlfriend's always like, oh, yeah, you're so old in your 30s.
Bro, but you're like, you just started 30s.
Yeah.
It doesn't count. Like,
this is going on my 32nd year. So. Still learning.
Wait, when's your birthday?
March 27th. So.
Oh, nah. Aries.
Yeah. What, are you March too?
No, I'm a big astrologist and I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay, what is your rising and
I'm a rising
your moon and your sun and all that stuff?
I think I'm a rising Sagittarius too, and I'm a Cancer moon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I learned from my girlfriend.
Oh, right.
I'm a Aries
trying to
sun.
say.
Aries sun, Virgo moon, and Gemini moon, Virgo rising.
Oh.
Yeah. So me and her were. She's also a Virgo moon and Gemini rising, so we're similar.
So you and your
But she's a
girlfriend,
Virgo.
you guys have very colorful conversations then, huh?
Uh,
I mean,
not
yours
really.
Gemini moon.
We're very similar. We're very similar, but we. What do you mean by colorful conversation? Like we
Talk
go
a
at each
lot.
other?
No. It's just colorful, like, very free speaking and like
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of it is. I
just
never know when you're joking. You make jokes all the time. If that's what you mean.
yeah, because the Gemini is like the split personality thing. It's like two people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like astrology. I've been liking astrology since I was a kid. It was like the one thing I used to steal from the grocery store when you were little. Like
Oh,
the
read
little
the thing.
scrolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool learning about it. I learned it more when I was first talking to my girlfriend because that's how you get in, right?
Yeah.
Like,
What's your sign?
yeah.
That's funny because I did the same shit to my girlfriend.
Like, wow, so interesting. And you got to put your birthday and everything and do like the very like detailed ones on certain other websites, not just like the app that we have. What is it called? It's on my phone, but we don't use it anymore. But stuff like that, it's like very detailed and like it tells you a lot.
Bro.
Yeah.
Well, I like Aries people. It's like one of my favorite ones. You guys
Aries
are like
cool.
really good. You guys give good energy to people to encourage.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
do this. Hey, you do this. You do this. And you just pump. John's an Aries.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of like the main characters in like animes, they're Aries.
In animes, they have birthdays in animes.
Yeah, they're my girlfriend.
What?
My girlfriend all the time is like, I gotta look what his
Bro,
his
what?
she does that. She's like, I wonder what Gojo is. I wonder what
What the
like,
fuck is Goku
Bakugo
then? Do
is.
you know?
I never looked up Goku because
What?
we don't watch. It's the animes we watch together.
Bro,
She's
what?
like, oh, I wonder what Isagi is or whatever. Yeah, she would look and she's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. He's a Cancer, total Cancer vibes. Yeah, dude, she looks up all the moon signs of these anime characters.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, but
Anyway, yeah.
yeah, we got to move on. Really enjoying talking stories with you, but I want to be respectful of your time.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know you got stuff you got to do. So I just want to know, at this point of your life, you've done so much, but what are you most grateful for?
Oh, right. As this very moment, my partner. I can always say, and I'll always say in every moment that I'm grateful for Nanakuli. Like, I really am. Like, that was a community that made me and took me in. They raised me, when I didn't have, like, parenting and all that. And it taught me everything I know and made me who I am. But right now, outside of that, my other half, Kia, is providing me the opportunity to continue doing what I love as a career, and while watching our daughter. And right now, like, she's just doing the most for us. It's hard having a baby and trying to be in the entertainment industry. It's really hard because you have to go to big concerts, you spend long hours, and not everything's like a normal job where, I'm going to go to this, this thing and, for X amount of money, there's a lot of things you do just to up your value for whatever you're doing, and then on chasing all those risks. And she has been a absolute hammer, holding down our house, watching our daughter, making sure we're fed and my clothes are clean when I gotta go, both from gig to home to get ready to next gig. And like, yeah, she deserves the world,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and
Hopefully
that's
I get to meet her one day.
yeah, definitely. We should go cruise or something,
Sounds like a hammer.
Yeah. So that's my biggest, like, and right now I'm just stoked because, I've always wanted a child, and we have one now, and she's a delight. And
What's her name?
my daughter's name is Kia. Not Kia, Irie.
Oh,
Irie.
That's a fun name.
Yeah, powerfully positive, to balance out her angry dad.
Yeah, angry local dad.
Yeah. So.
Oh, awesome. What's the most important thing you've learned from fatherhood so far? Or the
Oh,
biggest lesson?
the biggest lesson is patience. Like how to be patient, because you have no choice, bro. This life. We're talking with Max Holloway. He had told us, it was so interesting, his perspective. He's like, what was the word he used? Not that they're useless, but they can't do anything. You have a baby, this life that
You gotta protect it.
we gotta do everything for it, right? You can't do anything, bro. You
Yeah.
can't walk, you can't talk, you can't wipe your own okole, you can't eat on your own. Like you just completely like at the will and at the beck and call for this life, and you really gotta be patient. Like it's just like, and you just take a breather and realize the little things that are important. And I think that's the biggest thing you learn, like what is real.
Awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What is one thing you wish people knew about you that they don't?
Oh, I wish they knew, this is so bad to say, how much I love quiet. Like, that's it's a tough thing to do when you're a media personality,
But it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Because once you're powered with all of that, you just want peace and quiet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish I could. I turn off my phone at a certain time, and I know it's rude, but even like with my other half, she even doesn't understand sometimes. Like sometimes I just need alone. I'm an introvert at heart. Like I just really, I gotta go back in my shell for a little while. Like I'm not as loud and crazy for real as I present myself to be.
Yeah, it's an elevated version of yourself that you have to present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do really, really enjoy nothingness.
Yeah. So what do you do to like recharge and stuff?
Right, I have my own room. That's definitely a big help. Like, and I have my own room not by my choice, but my family's choice. Because our daughter still likes to breastfeed her mama, and so they sleep in their own room. And I wake up at 4 a.m. every day.
Oh yeah.
I interrupt their life, but that's it. I go in there and I hermit. I don't even put on TV shows or nothing.
Peace and quiet.
I just sit there and decompress the day. And then, of course, your usual go beach every so often, whenever you can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what does the next 5, 10, 20 years look like for you?
I hope I'll still be doing what I'm doing, maybe on a different scale, maybe in a different space. I do like enjoying having conversations and elevating our culture. And that's not just Hawaiian culture, I'm just a part of Hawaiian culture. I'm not in any form in control of any of it. I'll ride that wave all the way, but local culture, music culture, just continue to nurture it and make sure we keep the good things going forward. We're losing a lot of the good things, right? A lot of aloha is not being shown as often. We don't have our threshold for our anger is through the roof. We don't just fight anymore. Nobody just fights. And we want to just try and keep our culture to how it was, as close to how it was from when we were growing up, right? When lives do matter and the person in front of you is a human being, not a roadblock, So I just hope to continue doing work in that space and working with music and just being on local brada in Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing better, bro.
Seriously, yeah. I feel like Hawaii gives us our strength. Like, it's so different being away, and you're the cool person because you're from Hawaii, and you have that status about you amongst others. But it's nothing like coming here, dapping up a friend, speaking pidgin, and just like being that local person. Like, that's why we love finding another local person outside of Hawaii, because it gives you that feeling that you don't have over there.
Yeah.
It's
Nothing can
better.
make you feel better, more at home than that.
Yeah, totally. I agree. Awesome. Well, before we end the podcast, I gotta know, what is your life hack? Were you able to think of one?
Oh, life hack. Yes. My favorite life hack. Oh, I totally forgot it though. I think my mint is wearing off. Bro.
I got more right there.
Oh, you never just local boy point with your toes, ah?
If I was Filipino, I would went.
My favorite life hack. Give me 1 minute.
Okay. He's reaching for something in his pocket right now.
Yeah, my vape. Right? This is a brain job.
Yeah.
Right?
He's using this brain machine. It's coming to him. It's coming. If you're still with us, hang on.
Okay. There we go.
There you go.
Favorite life hack is listen to wahines.
People are gonna love that.
Yes, listen, bro. Just listen, and guarantee you can utu. You just gotta listen.
Asking for a friend. Could you expand on that?
Like, cause people have needs, and like I was saying with people, like you want to get on a different level inside of them.
Sorry.
You pay attention to their needs. Like, because even women have needs too.
So just listen to them.
So just listen, bro.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to sit there and listen.
I tell my girlfriend, she's not always right, but she's never wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, I go through so much. We're gonna have a whole nother hour if I get into it. But at the end of the day, you just gotta listen.
Yeah.
Just listen, bro.
Yeah. And admit you're wrong, even when you're right.
Yes. Well, listen. Yeah. If you listen, you'll find out where to position your right answer.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? It may not be in the very moment, but you'll get there.
That's a good life hack. All right. Cheers to that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I got my last fast fave 5 questions. These are rapid fire answers, okay? Then we're gonna send you home with all these goodies.
Let's go. Can't wait for bus up in the more cabs.
Yeah. Well, it's the weekend coming up, so hopefully you can play with some friends. Okay.
Fast, gotta be fast.
This is rapid fire. Well, first thing that comes to your head. Okay. I wrote down favorite rapper, but you already finished that,
Eminem.
so I'm gonna try to switch it up and write favorite singer.
Favorite singer? Oh, Israel Kumaka Viva Ole.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic. Okay, favorite guilty pleasure.
Second favorite. Second favorite would be pizza.
Wait, what's the first favorite then?
I mean, do I really have to say what every guy's favorite guilty pleasure is?
Jujutsu Kaisen and watching Gojo come out of the box and slay everybody?
I tell you right now, jiu-jitsu everywhere. Jiu-jitsu over there. Jiu-jitsu over there. Jiu-jitsu over there. I might go jiu-jitsu over there after this.
That's why I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to do jiu-jitsu right now.
Jiu-jitsu right now.
Right. I'm not even gonna ask you favorite way to relax then. Favorite drink at the club.
Favorite drink at the club? Water.
Oh, okay.
I'm a water guy.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't drink much anymore.
Those days came and passed.
Yeah, long gone.
Okay, favorite TV show or movie?
Oh, Breaking Bad, bro.
Oh, the classic.
Breaking Bad, gotta be it.
You ever watch Better Call Saul?
Nope.
See,
I don't want to ruin it. You know, like some great things, like a Lauryn Hill album, just have to sit as it and no need any extra stuff.
Like Step Brothers. You can't make a sequel to Step Brothers.
Yeah, not at all.
It has to be its own thing.
But favorite movie too, 300.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Favorite travel destination?
Japan.
Oh, nice. That's a popular answer.
Japan's a winner, bro. They changed the game on how I saw the world and what's possible.
Yeah.
Just as a culture. You been?
I went last year in April.
Yeah? Which part?
Just the classic Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto.
And what's your favorite place?
I wish I explored more of the countryside. So we went to an onsen in Takaragawa, which is outside of Tokyo.
Okay.
So that was kind of, I liked that more. Not a huge city person,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I get confused. Was it Kyoto where they have the Nishiki marketplace, or where's that?
Probably Kyoto.
Was it
Kyoto's a
Kyoto?
good food place. Yeah, that's where you get like
I get
the
the places
furikake.
that we went to confused.
Yeah.
Besides Tokyo, like
Kyoto's
Osaka
big
and
food place. Osaka is like the halfway city. So it's like
okay,
kind of like Tokyo, but on a very tiny scale, still tons of culture.
yeah. We're trying to go back again to do a podcast with Konishiki.
Ah,
So
bro.
yeah.
Do you guys already talk to him?
Yeah, well, we were actually gonna go in January, and then my knee wasn't good in time, so we decided to postpone it.
He's from Nanakuli too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've talked to him at some point, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. No. But I always tell everybody this because our boss at this radio station is Japanese and he's like a star in Japan. Like he has billboards and stuff.
Wow.
Osaka. If you stay in Osaka, there's a hotel that is on the train station.
Oh, interesting.
Like literally at that whatever their Grand Central
Uh-huh.
Station is, whatever. I forget what it was called, but you can literally like get a room there and go right downstairs into the train departing place and send you wherever you need to
Oh,
go
that's so cool.
real quick without even having to go anywhere.
Okay, well, I gotta go. So one of my friends posted this new Japanese restaurant. I don't know if it's new, but they have this little robot that brings the food to you. It's over here,
Oh,
near Ward. I think it's at Ward Village. So I want to go check that place out.
ooh.
It's like get a little taste of Japan because they got the little robots. Well, mahalo for talking stories with us today. That's all we got for you.
All right, thank you, bro.
Awesome conversation.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Stoked that you were able to come on my podcast. Is there anything else you want to share? If not, tell us where we can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Krystilez, Krystilez. You can catch me every weekday morning on 93.1 on your radio. That's High 93, the High Guys, Steezy and Pu'unui. Or you can find me in the streets, bro, with our hands in the dirt cultivating.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Or YouTube. Just YouTube him.
Yeah, you can YouTube. You can check out our the Aloha Hour podcast as well. I just do a lot of things. Bro.
Yeah.
It's just,
And he's not stopping anytime soon.
yeah.
Solid. Well, I'm gonna be following you for a long time. Hopefully I see you around more. But really, it's an honor to talk to a local legend like you.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's go.
Mahalo,
Kamaka.
Krystilez, for joining us on the Keep It Aloha podcast. Spread aloha, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. We have new episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka. Remember to always keep it aloha.